Good evening, my friend, and welcome to the Butt Kicker 350 here with XCal Racing. As always, my name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCal Racing, and alongside me tonight will be Jeff Edgar for the first time on the Gangcast. That's right, the XCal feature event this week on the Gangcast. How to Suck at iRacing, our broadcast partner, we actually assigned a 9-race extension with them. They are experiencing part of the outages of the Cox Internet provider across the nation, and currently right now they do not have a stable enough connection to connect to the server, so they unfortunately, Doug and the guys over there weren't able to make it here tonight. Obviously nothing Doug really could have done, just an unfortunate situation. Luckily the Gangcast is here. Interesting story how this all came into play, actually, my friend. I'll tell you about this before this all comes down. Alex Gangler, the guy who runs the cameras at Gangcast, he qualified for the event tonight and he was going to run the race. But he got a he got a fairly substantial financial offer from a driver, Chase Johnson, who didn't qualify for the race. Chase wanted to drive his car, and Gangler accepted. This was before any of the internet issues happened with How to Suck at iRacing. And then Gangler ended up just being available because he wasn't in the race, and he was able to broadcast the feature event. So big thank you to Alex Gangler and everyone over at the Gangcast who were able to show up here at last minute. I'm glad we're going to get this underway as warm-ups just finish here for the Butt Kicker 350. So glad to have you joining us this evening, my friend. This one should be a good one. Here is the starting order in tonight's feature event. Starting on pole position, that is position number 1, will be the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. In second, in the number 57, will be Brandon Varney. In third, in the 454, Luke Turpin, driver who's won 2 of the last 3 races. In fourth is the number 96 of Charlie Beals. In fifth is the 66 of Austin Edwards. Sixth is the 87 of Colin Hefner, who dominated when we came here in the preseason despite not winning. In seventh is Pat Sullivan. In eighth is Aiden McConaughey. Ninth is Tyler Jalbert. 10th is Jordan Babinger. 11th is Shane Briggs. 12th is Stephen Rex. 13th is Heather Patrick. 14th is Kenny Tripp. 15th is Tyler McRae, 16th is Matthew Bear, 17th is Tyler Batchelder, 18th is Blake Wynn, 19th is William Karp, and 20th is Logan Jones. 21st is Joe R. Campbell, who's a last-minute substitution. He didn't qualify for the race tonight, but Trevor Birchmere unable to make it. Tyler McRae chose to put Joe Campbell in the car. 22nd is Art Hendren, 23rd Ben Eaton, 24th Jose Gaudino, 25th will be Bruce Helmuth. Jose Gaudino, our in-car reporter tonight. 26th, the 61 of Greg Holes, 27th, the 062 of Johnny B, 28th, the 5 of Derek Colson, 29th, the 84 of Pud, 30th, the 15 of Kendrick Cryer, 31st, the points leader, JB Smooth, John Schwartz, and rounding out our field in 32nd, driving the 82 for Alex Gangler tonight, will be Chase N. Johnson. So we get things underway here. The cars are getting ready to take to the pace field here in the Butt Kicker 350. As this one promises to be a great event from Irwindale Inner. We're doing 350 laps around this little 0.3 mile bull ring in the middle of the Irwindale Speedway. This track will produce a lot of temper flaring racing. We'll talk a little bit about how this track races in just a moment. But as you see, as they're getting the pace field ready to go, the field is almost back to each other's bumpers here. I mean, it is all spread out right now. That's how small this track is. It's actually the second smallest track XCal goes to all season besides the Charlotte Legends Oval, which is a quarter mile. And this caution will be extended, and that was actually, or the initial start rather, will be extended, and that was because the field was not bunched up whatsoever there. So we will get another go at this, and that was just kind of a result of this being such a small track. We have 32 cars out there. There's only 33 pit stalls, which means one car didn't make the field. I believe that was the 03 of Richard Holiday. But nonetheless, we should be going green this time by. So it's Octavio Rondoletto, a winner earlier this season at Thompson. He will be starting in position number 1. And on his outside will be the 57 of Brandon Varney, who actually won here at Irwindale Inner when we came in the preseason. We go through turns 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang leads the field to the green flag. It's going to make the hard right-hand turn. Green flag in the air, and Rondoletto gets a good jump. He's going to go. Varney's going to slide into second, and it gets really tight behind these guys. And now we'll introduce the second member of our broadcast booth tonight, Jeff Edgar. Jeff, you ran some heat races. Tell me about just how chaotic these starts are here.
Yeah, it's really tight. Car's actually good for about the first 10 laps. After that, she starts to slide, not wanting to turn, and things get 3 wide real quick.
All right, here we go. racing for third position right now. Luke Turpin on the inside, outside Charlie Beals. Beals holding that car nice on the high side, but Turpin, he has the preferred line. One thing I really noticed about this track, Jeff, is when you look at it, it kind of looks like a flat parking lot. That's really not the case. It does have some banking to it, and it's one of those tracks where you really carry your momentum around the corner, and if you do have a good enough line around the corner on the outside, you can kind of make it work for a little while.
Yeah, you can. You need to be pretty steady and pretty good. I mean, you don't want to get into anybody early. It's gonna, just not fare well for you.
Battle is now back to the fifth position as Colin Hefner is on the outside. Inside is Austin Edwards, who won earlier this season. Ooh, that battle's real tight. They make a little contact. Hefner shimmied up the racetrack. That's going to move Edwards into fifth. Moving into sixth now is Pat Sullivan. Sullivan, ooh, he gets right up to the bumper of Hefner there. It looks like we have a car hit squarely behind these guys.
Looks like Briggs in a 999 went for the wall.
Yeah, tough break there for Shane Briggs in the 999. He hit the wall, looks like, with the inside of his car. He was racing side by side with Steven Rex for about 10th, and that car's got a little loose. He got a good piece of that outside wall, and he has got that car back going, but he currently runs in 30th. Couple cars with problems already. Arthur Hedren, big problems in the pits, already 5 laps down. Blake Wynn has gone a lap down in the 81 car. Not sure what happened to Wynn, but maybe he started in the pits or something like that. Some sort of issue there. Back on the track, our first battle on the racetrack. Looks like things have kind of gotten single file. We have a good battle forming for 10th right now as Kenny Tripp's looking to get under Steven Rex.
Kenny Tripp is going to be tough to beat here today, I think.
He's looked pretty good all weekend, Jeff, and it's been a while since Kenny's had a really good run. I feel like he's overdue.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a good driver, no doubt. He's always rattling my cage.
They're putting Shane Briggs a lap down right now, so tough break there for Briggs. One car I did want to keep an eye on, not just because I own the car, but John Schwartz in the 01. He's the points leader. He started in 31st today. That car's up to 26th, running behind Derek Colson right now. Not a lot of luck here, though, for Schwartz early on in this race. So welcome in all of our friends listening into tonight's Buck Kicker 350. If you're out here watching the race tonight, just let us know in the Gamecast comments, who do you got tonight? Who are you rooting for here in tonight's race? I know each and every one watching has someone in the field there's a reason they're watching this race. Let us know. Or maybe you're cheering for Bowen Smith, our admin. Who knows? You can let us know about that too, right down in the live chat. Up front, though, Rondoletto still has the lead. One thing I've started to notice here, Jeff, though, looks like that 57 car of Varney's closing the gap down a little bit. Luke Turpin's hanging right there with him. It looks like these 3 cars early on in this run, 13 laps in, have the best speed.
Oh, absolutely. And they're going to be the smoothest cars out there, too. I mean, that's just how these guys are, man. I mean, they're top notch.
3 of the best in the business, honestly. You could go top 5. Edwards and Hefner in 4th and 5th. They're no slouches either. Remember what I said when we came here in the preseason, just a few races before the real season started. It was Colin Hefner who dominated. He led this race pretty much start to finish. Late in the race, Brandon Varney was able to beat him on a little strategy, and that's no insult to Varney's car that race either. Brandon Varney ran pretty much second that entire race. He had a fast car. It's just Hefner was on a run that day. Varney, though, looking to challenge for the lead right now, and Rondoletto, it looks like he's making some mistakes here. I think that 77 car might be a little bit tight on entry. It doesn't look like he's completely comfortable with it right now.
Yeah, he might be losing that front end a little bit. That right front tire goes away, and she don't like the stick so good.
No, she does not, and looks like he is still heating a little ground here to the 57 of Brandon Varney. I almost said Colin Hefner. Varney's up there in second right now. They're going to quickly find their way into some lap traffic here. They're coming up on Shane Briggs, our in-car reporter today, Jose Gaudino, and a lot of these cars up here. So we will see if he can maneuver his way through this lap traffic. All these guys, they're going to have to deal with it, and who will deal with it the best and what issues will it cause. You know, Jeff, in a lot of these XCal races, we see that lap traffic can be a deciding factor in finishing positions more often than not.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to negotiate them and hope you're friends with them, because if not, they can make things real tough for you.
So here we go up front. Leaders starting to get in some lap traffic here. Rondoletto closing right in on the bumper of Jose Gaudino. Looks like Rondoletto now is going to put his first victim a lap down. as the leaders do get into some lap traffic here. As they get into lap traffic, they're looking around the racetrack for a good battle. We got one right now for seventh. Aiden McConaughey on the inside of Pat Sullivan. This is for seventh and eighth positions. Sullivan keeping that car wound up on the high side. He hits doors a little bit with McConaughey. McConaughey gets loose in the 85. McConaughey now drives it deep into the corner, and McConaughey, he's going to take the position away. So move McConaughey now up to seventh, or excuse me, that's going to be sixth for McConaughey. Back to seventh now is Sullivan, but he's on the outside still. Tyler Jalbert is on his inside. Those two are racing side by side for position. And whenever you get behind these cars, you have Kenny Tripp, who's made his way up through the field from 14th to 9th already. And this is a pretty hard place to pass, so that's impressive for Kenny. But it looks like Pat Sullivan will find room in front of Kenny Tripp. So move Tyler Jalbert now up to seventh, though. There's a couple cars making some moves here.
Kenny actually gave him the spot there. He could have closed that door on his buddy there, but he didn't. He broke it a little early and let him get down. Very nice, very nice.
Here we go. McConaughey now challenged from Jalbert. Jalbert gets to the inside of Aiden McConaughey. Jalbert in the 16 car, not his normal number. He got penalized for actually joining the race with an incorrect number. He's docked 25 owner points for that. Jalbert on the inside, though, racing for sixth right now with Aiden McConaughey. McConaughey hanging tough on that outside. I've been impressed with how a lot of these guys have held the outside of the racetrack so far. If you're wondering what's happening up front, you haven't missed a whole lot. The leaders have been negotiating their way through lap traffic fairly drama-free. It looks like Hefner and Edwards have started to close a little bit on these guys, but the best battle for sure right now is between the 85 and 16. On that inside of the racetrack, Jalbert still trying to make his way up through the field. Looks like Jalbert will now get by the 85 McConaughey, so you can move Jalbert now into the sixth position. It looks like everyone else kind of is racing for sixth right now, though. This run continues to go on now, 27 laps in here, Jeff. The top five cars, they've really put a good bit of distance between themselves and the rest of the field.
Oh yeah, they're going to do that too because their cars are still handling pretty decent because they're real easy on them. They're not fighting them. I mean, you could just look at Luke Turpin. He's always a half a car lower than everybody else on the racetrack. He's shortening the racetrack up probably by 20 feet overall per lap. I mean
by the end of the race, Jeff, that'll save you a good bit of tire.
And a good bit of fuel.
That is a very good point, too. And, it's funny because Luke Turpin does always just seem to be there in them fuel mileage races at the end. He's very good at those. Right now, he's challenging for second. He's running a little bit lower on the racetrack, but he's also challenging Brandon Varney for position. And, Jeff, we saw Turpin get off to a rough start to the year. He was having some races that looked like he should have won that didn't go his way. Then there were a couple races where the car just didn't have speed. But it seems like the last few weeks, he's really figured it out. He's won 2 of the last 3, and he was really fast in the other race. He's looking fast again here tonight. Despite a kind of lackluster start to the year, it seems like Turpin's really figuring it out now.
Oh yeah, he'll get his stuff together. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this guy is the cream of the crop, really. I mean, and he's a good guy too. I mean, he'll share whatever you want with him. I mean, he spent 2+ hours with me and Big John the other night, just helping us get around this racetrack. Not setup wise, but driving wise.
Oh, we have a spin in front of the leaders. Derek Colson saves it. Jeff, that was almost bad for all of our leaders. Colson almost lost it there.
Absolutely. And Soper up high on the outside, making it 3 wide. That's going to be scary.
That's going to be tight down here in the 3. Oh, Colson does get into Soper a little bit. Colson hangs on. Everyone's still alive for the moment. The top 3 get by. Turpin's giving them 3 extra lanes. That was hectic, and it's still not over.
No, not yet. Soper's still on the outside over there, and anytime Soper's out there, it's scary.
Soper does look like the top 4 will all get by harm-free, so Pud gets cleared by the top 4. We're now back up to the leader where Kenny Tripp's trying to put Greg Holes a lap down. Holes currently running in 25th position. Our leaders quickly making their way through this field. They're coming up now in the lap car of Blake Wynn. Top 3, though, pretty much, actually now it's the top 4 really, are all under a blanket. Everyone's right up on each other. As Colson and Pud are racing very hard with each other. Colson just got into the bumper of Pud there a little bit. It almost makes you wonder if maybe they had a moment earlier and they're not happy with each other.
Oh, yeah, those guys are never happy with each other. There's guys out there that just get in people's head, and it's just like, for lack of better terminology.
I got what you're saying there. I was picking up what you're laying down. As once again, the 5 and the 84 make contact. They're right in front of fifth place. Colin Hefner, who has to be sweating bullets right now. It looks like now Colson does get a pretty poor corner there. That'll give Hefner an opportunity to maybe get around him. Hefner running right on his bumper, peeks to the outside. Nothing there. Hefner just trying to get a run off the corner. He will get it, and Hefner will now get underneath the lap car of Colson. As looks like our leader is still working into some more and more lap traffic. Looking back at some of those battles we were keeping an eye on earlier between the sixth place battle, it does look like Tyler Jalbert is still in sixth, McConaughey still in seventh, eighth is still Sullivan, ninth is Kenny Tripp, and 10th is Charlie Beals. As everyone right now, for the most part, seems content to kind of just ride around and bide their time. Pretty much all single file all the way around the racetrack. Actually, we are single file all the way around the racetrack right now.
I'd be looking at this number 66 of Austin Edwards. He's looking pretty sporty right now. He's climbing up to the bumper of Turpin there.
And the more he runs these XCal races, he's a really good official driver. He finally won his first XCal race, I believe 2 weeks ago at Southern National. And now he's up here running up front. I think the more he starts to learn this XCal game, the more we'll see him doing this kind of. A few of the races he ran earlier, I noticed he kind of just tried to run away from the field and dominate. I think now he knows how much of a strategy is a factor, and I think at this point he's just kind of riding behind these guys, which, to be honest with you, I really don't know who's the best out of these guys. I really don't feel like anyone's shown us their hand, Jeff.
No, no, but it's getting really exciting here. I think we got Ben Eaton there holding up
Ooh.
Rondoletto.
Oh, yeah, he holds up Rondoletto big time, and he's going to cut off Rondoletto. This is going to get hectic. Rondoletto has to go way down to try to get underneath him. Rondoletto will get the car back up there. Eaton's just way up the racetrack. He's going to come down. This is stacking up the entire leader. It's a freight train right now. They're all bumping. They're all banging. Varney gives him a shot. Octavio's going to get to the inside now once again of Eaton. Eaton's just going to cut his nose off, and Octavio's just in a box right now, and he can't do anything. Octavio's thinking about the outside. Octavio's just about done with it. He's going to give a shove to the 2 car. He moves him up the racetrack. Octavio gets underneath him.
Wow,
Eaton's going to throw a little bit of a chop block there. Here comes the 66 to the outside. He got around Turpin. Here comes Varney to the inside of Octavio. Octavio gets the run off the corner. He's going to keep the lead. The 66 is going for second. The 66 gets into Eaton. The 66 saves it. Octavio goes around. Octavio's going to hang on to it. Somehow nobody wrecks. Still in the lead is going to be Octavio. Second now is Austin Edwards. And I don't know how that happened. Edwards is going for the lead now, though. Edwards looks to the inside. Octavio throws the block. And we are only 50 laps into this race. Tempers are getting heated here.
I just wrecked 5 times in my chair. I mean, that was just insane. The talent is just sick.
That was incredible that they did not all wreck there. They were just trying to wreck. And what I found most impressive, Jeff, before that happened, Edwards was running in fourth. They were getting stuck down low. Everyone was going slow. And Edwards was like, kind of like when you're in throughway traffic and you're getting sick of running behind that guy. Edwards was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go to the high side if this is what we're doing. And he picked up 2 spots.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was starting to think about the high side before that mess even happened, and it worked out for him.
Well, Rondoletto pulls a little bit of a gap again now that he's back out front. I think Rondoletto might be showing a little bit more of his hand here as he's done dealing with that. Looking back, we have 5th place Hefner is now right on the bumper of Luke Turpin. That's getting tighter there. Tyler Jalbert also kind of starting to bring the 85 McConaughey along. Those cars are catching up towards the leaders. Obviously, they lost a lot of time there whenever that whole incident with Ben Eaton just happened. But everyone's getting those cars moving now. And caution's out. First caution of the evening on lap 52, Jeff. It looks like we've had a car go around.
Yeah, I can't see who that was, but it's a good time for a pit stop.
I think it was the 999 again. It was the 999 of Shane Briggs.
Oh, interesting.
All right, so we will see what happened there in a moment. But what happened was the 999 of Shane Briggs, he was running in front of Pat Sullivan, and that car just got loose on exit. He got loose on exit, overcorrected in front of a few cars. Steven Rex, who was running in 11th, hit him in the nose a little bit. Looks like everyone else was able to miss him. Really not too bad of an accident. And that'll put us under our first caution flag of the evening here on lap 52 of the Butt Kicker 350. And Jeff, looks like everyone's coming into the pits.
Oh, you have to. You are running on just junk on the right side. There's nothing left of those tires at all.
So here we go. All the cars coming in to get serviced. Looks like everyone is, like you said, obviously taking the right side tires. We'll see if everyone takes 4. This is where we'll probably start to get interesting. Also curious, it looks like Rondoletto will just take the 2. And Varney, he took the 4. So Varney takes 4. He's going to get out of there. Turpin also taking 4. Looks like obviously everyone else is taking four. Edwards is going to get out third. Fourth is going to be Turpin. Fifth is going to be Hefner. So the top five won't change. McConaughey does beat out Stephen Rex for sixth. Stephen Rex goes from 16th to seventh, and Tyler Jalbert is going to be in eighth. Ninth, it looks like it's going to be Pat Sullivan, and rounding out our top 10 will be Heather Patrick. Although we have had a few cars not come into the pits yet, and I see most of them have come down now. And this will give us a good opportunity, though, here, Jeff, to talk to our in-car reporter for the first
You
time.
just missed. We got Jalbert knocking Varney into the wall in the front stretch, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my goodness, what's going on there?
I'm gonna roll back and take a peek.
Yeah, keep us updated on what happened there, because that definitely sounds important. We are going to try to get a word in here with our in-car reporter, though, Jose Gaudino. Jose, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, well, Jose, right now, looking good out there. You're currently running in fifth place after a little bit of fuel strategy. You're obviously going to come down now and get some fuel, and you'll probably lose some spots. But so far in this race, looks like the car has been running good. How's it felt out there on this little track?
Well, I'm mainly trying to survive for the first part of the race, so keeping calm in the end of the group, and so far it's good. I expect to improve a little bit when track gets cooler later in the race.
All right. So far, though, Jose, would you say that you're happy with how the car's handling?
Yeah, but I expected this kind of handling in the early stages because the track is a little bit hot. But I know it will improve much when the track gets cooler later on.
All right, well, that was our in-car reporter, Jose Gaudino on the 20. We'll be sure to talk to him more as the night goes along. Currently running P7 as it shows on the scoreboard, Jose Gaudino. So Jose actually from Portugal, one of our native Spanish-speaking drivers. We have a few of those, along with the guy who's led a lot, Octavio Rondoletto. Jeff, looks like one car has decided to stay out, and that's Chase Johnson in the 82 racing for Alex Gangler. He started dead last. He stayed out, the only car that did.
He might be in big trouble. So what I've noticed here is Varney appears to jump through Stephen Rex and Jalbert. It looks like he wanted to go back into the pits, and he was not clear of Jalbert, and consequently spins at the start-finish line.
Well, an unfortunate break there for him. By the way, we only have 6 cars in the lead lap now. There's a ton of cars just one lap down. But on the lead lap, we have Chase Johnson, Octavio Rondoletto, Austin Edwards, Luke Turpin, Colin Hefner, and Matthew Baer, who's been mastering strategy for the last month. That dude has just figured out how strategy works, because he's been putting himself in good positions every week. But yeah, Chase Johnson, by making that move, Jeff, he has trapped the field a lap down.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at Chase and Rondoletto, and that's Greg Holes.
Oh, here we go off turn 4. Green flag in the air. The 82 car of Chase Johnson gets going. He does get a good jump. He's going to have the lead. Here we go. Rondoletto's going to try to pull down for second. He will pull down for second. So move the 77 car up into P2. We'll see how quickly he chases down Chase Johnson on fumes and bald tires. He is right on his back bumper right now. This is getting intense behind them. They race 3 wide. That is for position. They are all racing a lap down, but they're all racing for position a lap down. That's a top 10 spot. That's points leader John Schwartz racing with Tyler Jalbert for 8th and 9th behind them. Here we go, though. The 77's peeking for the lead. He looks to the inside, just not there. 63 laps have passed here in the BUTTKICKER 350. But, Jeff, the top 2 cars, they're by themselves. Third place Austin Edwards is mired back in lap traffic, 5 seconds back.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Chase here is hoping for 20 laps and then a caution, but I don't think it's going to work out for him.
Well, he just gets out of the way. He lets Rondoletto take the lead. Rondoletto back on top, and they are getting really racy right now for 8th position behind, 7th, 8th, and 9th behind them. McConaughey, Jalbert, and Schwartz all racing here, as Johnson's slower than all these cars. Remember, these guys are all on new tires. They're probably going to make their way around Johnson as they begin to. Here goes Schwartz. He gets to the inside. Schwartz is in 7th right now. He has the position, and now Jalbert will fall back into 9th. Moving up to 8th will be Aiden McConaughey. As Chase Johnson, Jeff, on the outside, that car is just running on absolutely bald tires. He has no handle.
Absolutely not. No. He might as well be on a unicycle. He's not going. He's not going anywhere.
You really should. That's what it looks like out there right now. As we've had our first car pull off the track for the evening. The 999 of Shane Briggs has taken it behind the wall. He had a long night up to that point. I think he is just calling it a night as that car moves behind the wall. A couple things here up front. Rondoletto's opened up to 2.5-second lead over Chase Johnson already. Johnson is absolutely dropping like a rock. He is getting passed by more cars now. Sustaining 7th is still Schwartz, as though that battle's heating up. McConaughey's right on Schwartz's bumper for 7th and 8th. And then it's just a mess of lap cars, Jeff. We have 7th through 24th are all one lap down. So most of these cars are racing for position, and that's just what makes it so much more hectic for these few on the lead lap. So we have a car stopped on the backstretch, but he is stopped on the backstretch.
Yeah, he's rolling through 3 and 4 at the moment.
And we got it back going. So for a second, the 84 D4 car was stopped on the backstretch, but he got it back going, which I'm sure for Putt and that 84 team, this wasn't a race that they were guaranteed to make. For D4 Motorsports, as much as they've struggled this year, I'm sure it had to feel good to at least, make this race where it was kind of difficult to make.
Yeah, the points worked out fairly well for him, I would say.
They did do their favors for him. That team needed one. They were having a lot of bad runs. Up front right now, it's now Johnson has fallen back to 2nd. Here comes Edwards. Edwards is going to make his way around for Johnson. Johnson is just on the outside of the racetrack right now, running laps that are 1.5 slower than the field. And honestly, though, I still wouldn't really call it a failure if he gets a caution. If he gets a caution before he heads to pit, Jeff, this will all work out in his favor.
If he gets a caution before he gets lapped, he'll be good.
That is true. He is dropping substantially quick. He's now back to 3rd, now back to 5th. There's smoke on the racetrack. I don't see a caution, and I don't see a car. I do see a car. And Turpin's going to go around. Turpin gets spun in the middle of the pack. He saves it. Everyone goes around him, and caution shouldn't fly.
No. The 06 car goes deep into the infield, though. He may end up with a black flag from iRacing.
That'll be tough for Logan Jones, who right now being scored in Actually, he's being scored in 22nd position, and Jones pops to the outside. This makes me think he's coming into the pits. He will not. Jones is still sticking it out there.
No, he just needs to slow down for the black flag, that's all.
That could be. Oh, yeah, you're right, because it is
The
just
timed black flag, right? Just got to give up a second.
Yep, that was probably it why I pulled up there. So, update on the battle, though. Chase Johnson has pulled down to the inside. His lap times are improving. He was just trapped up on that outside for a terrible amount of time. He's in 4th. Back in 5th now is Luke Turpin after almost wrecking there, somehow saving that car in the middle of the pack. He now has his teammate Matthew Bear right on his bumper, who runs in 6th right now. You're watching the BUTTKICKER 350 on the Gangcast. My name's PDJ Zeller. Joining me tonight is Jeff Edgar. Jeff was actually slated to run this race, but unfortunately did not qualify, as this was a tough one to make. 43 attempted to qualify, only 33 got the pleasure of running the show. As Logan Jones comes into the pits, Jeff, it might have been an actual black flag.
Wow.
Yeah, tough break there for Jones. I mean, he wasn't running great. He was in 22nd, but he was just one lap down. He was certainly still within striking range. Unfortunate there for him. He has a long way to go to recover from that. So
yes.
That'll change that one up there. We have a change in position here now. Aiden McConaughey just got underneath John Schwartz for 7th. McConaughey, he's going to pick up that spot. Move McConaughey up to 7th right now. And if you're watching the stream right now, my friend, be sure to let us know in the YouTube comment section. Tell us what you think about this whole swinging strategy right now. Tell us if it's affected your favorite driver or not. I'm curious to hear. Up front, though, Rondoletto out to a 7.7 second lead over Austin Edwards. And Jeff, Rondoletto got so lucky starting so far in front of the field because everyone else is trapped in this lap traffic. They're fighting to get through it. They're losing so much time. Rondoletto just has a clean racetrack, and he is just absolutely scooting away from the field.
Oh, yeah. He's running pretty stress-free up there right now for the most part.
He is closing on some more lap traffic. A couple D4 Motorsports cars.
Not so much stress-free.
he might be losing that now as he comes right up on some of these cars, and Putt is just going to get out of the way. Putt goes way out of the way to get out of his way, so Rondoletto will get through him with no issue. I think the D4 cars, I know we've been beating up on them a lot, but I think they might honestly be trying to run this race fairly incident-free just because they've had some fairly incident-filled races, and they might not want to be tearing up too many race cars. They might run out of race cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think that's a thing, but with that team, it's definitely an issue.
It's a possibility. We've seen it happen before. Rondoletto making his way through some more lap traffic. We have now a change in position. Luke Turpin and Matthew Baer have both went around Chase Johnson. Johnson is actually in danger of getting lapped here as that 82 car. The strategy is still playing out in his favor, but he's about 400 feet away from it not. As here we go, Rex is looking to his inside, and Johnson, he's fighting a little bit harder for this one, but that car just has absolutely no tread
He's
left.
done.
28 gets into him, and he is going to get scooted out of the way. Rondoletto goes around him, and Johnson will come into pit road as the strategy did not go his way.
Yeah, smart move there. Got to get into pits once you get lapped.
Yep, it's probably better to do it now, Jeff, than waste more time running bad lap times and the bad tires. Now he'll come out and actually running better lap times than everyone.
Right. I mean, he could get extremely lucky, but it's going to be like winning a lottery here for that to actually pan out for him. I mean, it was worth a shot as long as you can get a caution in the first 15 or 20 laps. After that, you're in trouble.
So we'll have to see what Johnson does. If this race continues to go green, the strategy starts to roll back into his favor, but there's so many moving parts there. We'd have to see as Rondoletto and Steven Rex make a little contact there. Oh, Rex drives into Rondoletto. Rondoletto gets loose. He saves it in front of Rex. Rex is still there. Rex just absolutely took a shot at him. He takes another shot at him. Rondoletto shuffled up the racetrack, and here comes Rex back to his inside. Rondoletto is not happy right now. 3 wide. Let's see what happens here. And oh, Rondoletto turns Rex into the fence, and this might be a caution. Let's see. None yet. Let's see if Rex gets it back going or not in the 28. What happened there, Jeff? Rex doesn't get it going.
I don't have any idea why Rex hit him going back into one. I mean, the first time I can see. The second time was definitely intentional. And then Rondoletto, payback's a bitch.
It definitely can be. Yes. The 28 car is going to drop like a rock. He's back in 2030. Got it back going. No caution somehow. Nobody hit Steven Rex. That was just a whole lot of drama that was unnecessary, though, for a moment. Looks as though another car is coming to the pits that I didn't notice. The 01 of John Schwartz, I think, made an unscheduled pit. Or no.
I'm looking at him on the racetrack in front of Jalbert.
Yeah, no, I got confused, Jeff, because I didn't see him listed 1 lap down. He actually got his lap back when everything just happened with Steven Rex.
Right. Yeah, he got lucky and slipped right on through there like the JB Smooth character he is.
Didn't even him, McConaughey, and Jalbert actually all back on the lead lap now after that incident that happened there. Rondoletto fighting to put Jalbert a lap back down right now. He's on his bumper. After all that, Rondoletto still has a 4.2 second lead. And I guess, Jeff, that's where it really worked out for Rondoletto when he got that big lead, is I guess he had the time for a stupid situation like that.
Yeah, that helped him a lot. There's no doubt about that.
We're quickly approaching the lap 100 mark here. We're on lap 98. Still, like I said, 4 second, 8 cars on the lead lap right now. First 3 cars a lap down if we were to get a caution are Brandon Varney, who was running up front pretty much the whole first run, Kenny Tripp, and Kendrick Pryor. If you're curious how long the green flag pit stop took for Chase Johnson, he's back out on the racetrack, and Jeff, a full tank and 4 tires, he went 7 laps down.
Wow.
That is a lot of time, but that's how quick laps are turned at this 0.3 mile racetrack. If we get green flag pit stops tonight, Jeff, it's kind of like Russian roulette. If a caution comes out, you're just going to be in really bad shape.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this is much funner being up in the booth.
No doubt.
Down there, it's like, what do you do? And it's just maddening. It is just so stressful. I mean, it's one thing if you're up front, you kind of follow the leader. If you're mid-pack and back, it's just a gamble.
Well, up front, once again, Rondoletto's right on the bumper of the lap cars of John Schwartz and Tyler Jalbert, just trying to find a way around these guys. Our top 5 as they run: Octavio Rondoletto, Austin Edwards, Colin Hefner, Luke Turpin, and Matthew Baer. Those are your top 5 running cars. All having really good runs right now, although Rondoletto's just he hasn't really made much of an effort to get around these 2 lap cars in front of him. I think he kind of knows. Everyone knows Jalbert's a hard runner, and if you're trying to stop him from being on the lead lap, Jeff, you have to imagine that Jalbert's always going to race everyone pretty tough in the situation. And maybe Rondoletto, from past experiences, is just waiting for Jalbert to make a mistake and not have to deal with some really heavy racing.
Absolutely. There's no reason for him to push the envelope here. You saw what happened with Rex. You seen what happened with Ben Eaton. There's no reason for him to push here. He doesn't. There's just none. I mean, he's got to go because you got Varney right behind him, who's going to end up getting his lap back if he doesn't hold the bottom up real tight here. But Well, I guess we'll see.
We will have to. As now here we go. Battle in front of him for position. Jailbert gets under Schwartz. This is for 7th and 8th. Jailbert's going to pick up the position, and unfortunately for Schwartz, looks like he's going to lose the lap, and they might lose another position because of Varney. As Rondoletto races to his inside. They are side by side for, well, not for position, but to stay on the lead lap. Schwartz will drop he's given a good fight up there, but he's going to drop this one eventually. He drops now to Rondoletto. Here comes Varney to the inside. Varney's going to move up to 8th. Looks like Schwartz going to move back to 9th. Now we're back to just 7 cars in the lead lap, and back to Rondoletto knocking on the bumper here of Jailbert.
I can't believe how low the marbles are in this place. But that explains a lot.
There's just like a lane, a small lane. You can see where the drivers are running. Everything else is just marble. There's one groove and then a bunch of marbles.
Man, that is unbelievable. They're 3 wide back in the middle of 1 and 2.
Oh, 3 wide action. Sorry, I was keeping an eye out there.
Kenny Tripp and McRae. Here comes William Karp shooting a gap.
William Karp up there. He's running in, I believe that's 12th right. Good run right now for William Karp. Looking up front, though, still, this is just so tight with Rondoletto, I want to keep an eye on it because he is really under heavy duress right now from Brandon Varney. And he has Tyler Jailbert in front of him, the weapon. And here we go. Actually, Rondoletto with a veteran move. Looks like he's just going to let the 57 car go. 57, Varney gets to the inside. Rondoletto lets him have it.
He better get down. There he goes.
Schwartz tried to dive the nose, but I think Rondoletto knows he's a little quicker than Schwartz right now, so he's going to stay in front of Schwartz. And I honestly like that move by Rondoletto. That's just being smart right there. He's learned his lesson. He's gotten burned a lot of times. As here comes Schwartz diving to the inside, the rare aggressive move from Schwartz. And Schwartz looking to take his lap back. If he gets his lap back, Cryer's going to follow him through.
Rondoletto to the pits already?
Actually, now that I remember, Jeff, he's the first car out of pit road by a lot. He didn't take the full tank.
Wow.
So
not a very good move.
No, it didn't work out. I mean, I guess it still could if we go green for a while, but new leader Austin Edwards. Edwards up to the top spot. Now in second will be Colin Hefner. Moving up into the podium position, third will be Luke Turpin. Fourth will be Matthew Barron. Now fifth will be Aiden McConaughey. As Rondoletto is going to probably lose 7 laps here unless he takes a short amount of fuel again, but that would just be unwise at this stage in the game. So we'll have to see if this plays out for Rondoletto. And this is where it's nervous, Jeff, because it's going to go green for a little while before everyone else has to pit. And Rondoletto, that whole 77 team, they're just praying there's not a caution.
John Schwartz is actually in the pits as well. He made the same move.
So JB Smooth's going to come down, and we're going to see a few cars look like coming down now as they, the guys that are on the strategy. It looks like, I don't think either of them took the full tank like we saw Johnson take, because Johnson was in there forever, unless Johnson had an issue that we didn't know about.
Johnson probably took the full tank of fuel, and those guys, when they pitted, they probably only took 2 tires and just enough fuel for the 2 tires, which is why they're back in there so early. You should be able to get just about 100 laps out of a run here, by my calculations.
All right, well, they are back on the lead lap, or not on the, excuse me, they're both back 3 laps down, rather, is what I meant to say there. And 115 laps into this thing, into the BUTTKICKER 350 here. Got to give a big shout out here to a lot of our sponsors here. Of course, we have Trying Inc. We always like to give them a shout out. BUTTKICKER. Obviously BUTTKICKER, K2 Sauces, the XCal Racing web shop, Sim Racer Coin, just all of our great partners at XCal. We're so happy to have so many more on board. I have to start writing them down. At first it was easy, there was just 1 or 2 to remember. Each and every week it feels like another one's coming on board, and we'll actually have a little bit something different at halfway this week, because we do have a new sponsor for Dropping Bombs Racing that's going to be involved with a little halfway promotion. We'll talk about that as we get closer to Higgins and halfway. Which actually isn't too far away, only about 50 laps away from halfway at this point, Jeff. As 121 laps in, I'm knocking on wood, only 1 caution up to this point.
Yeah, pretty surprising, really. I mean, I figured it was going to be a lot rougher a race up to this point, but boys have surprised me.
Looks like more cars. So now we actually have 8 cars in the lead lap since the whole debacle happened there with Octavio having to hit to the pits. Edwards is clicking off laps as the leader right now, and really no one's catching Edwards. Hefner is remaining about 3.5 seconds back. Turpin is pretty far back, and it's about 7.5 seconds back in third. And Matthew Bear's now in the pits. He took the strategy as well. Our 4th place runner, Matthew Bear, he's going to dive into the pits. McConaughey will move up into 4th, and 5th will now be Tyler Jailbert, as we see so many different strategies unfolding here.
Yeah, that's going to happen a lot through this race. Ooh, Rex and Rondoletto came close to each other again.
Yes, they are not happy there. There might be some of those stickers on the XCal website being shared between those two guys over the weekend. As oh, here we go. Edwards and Brandon Varney get into it.
Oh,
Edwards
yeah,
gives
they
Varney
do.
a shot. I think Edwards got underneath Varney. Varney tried to cut the nose off there a little bit. I didn't see what happened. I'm not going to say for sure that's what happened, but that's what I saw at the corner of my eye. And Edwards really struggling to get around the 57, trying to put our sixth place runner one lap down. Things are so tight here. Here comes the 77 of Rondoletto to the outside on them fresh tires. Let's see if he's just going to clear everyone here.
Oh, he's going to walk right on by.
He gets to the outside of our leader. This is important for him. This will put him only 2 laps down if he can take this lap back. And it looks like Rondoletto will have the nose ahead for the time being. And now this is the hard part. He's going to have to get around 2 guys that like to race him hard. The 57 and the 16. Let's see if he can get around Varney and Jalbert. He's on the outside right now of Varney. You know Varney ain't going to make it too easy on him here, as the 77 car, though, doesn't care on those fresher tires. He gets into the corner. The 66 gave the 57 a little bit of a knock there. Edwards all over the back bumper right now of Brandon Varney. 77 does get clear of Brandon Varney. He's looking to the outside now of Tyler Jalbert. He does get there. They're going to race side by side. This is big here for the 77 as Jalbert gets into the door a little bit there of Rondoletto. Rondoletto's going to hang on to as the 66 makes a bold move to get to the inside of the 57. Here comes Edwards. He finally got to the inside of Varney, and it looks like Varney at this point is just going to let him have it. Rondoletto's clear. Edwards is going to get around Varney. Here comes Schwartz now on fresh tires as Varney's going to come into the pits, and I think it's getting close to the pit window here.
Yeah, it should be getting close to the pit window for a lot. Put some fuel and some tires on that puppy.
All right, and we are back. We are sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I don't know if we're back. I'm waiting to hear word from the Gangcast, and but whenever we get word for that, yes, we are back. All right, we are back, my friends. Sorry, technical difficulties. For some reason, the broadcast booth in the Discord went away. The connection completely went away on that. So we are now broadcasting live out of the D4 Motorsports Hauler. As man, it's been a tough night for the broadcast team.
Well, I tell you what, I wasn't sure what happened. I was like just
So we're live
mute.
down here. We're live down here from the D4 Motorsports Hall. Our leader came into the pits. Austin Edwards come down. Colin Hefner, who's running in second, is also into the pits now. Luke Turpin has cycled through to the leader, but we're expecting him to come down in just any lap. Tyler McRae still out there. And you know what's funny, Jeff? You talked about earlier how Luke takes the shortest way around the racetrack, and I talked about kind of how we always see him in the fuel strategy situations. Well, he's been able to go the furthest this run, and it doesn't look like he's trying to pit anytime real soon.
That's what I was telling you. This guy is, I don't know how he does it. I mean, he tried for hours to explain it to me, and I still don't get it. But he just does it. It's just uncanny.
He has a real knack for it, that's for sure. And with the way we run these XCal races, you have a certain amount of fuel cap, so it forces you to pit a certain amount of times in the race. Having, like you said, that huge advantage that he has, it is just so huge that he was able to do that. Also, another guy that's gotten pretty good at that, I've noticed, Jeff, Tyler McRae. I've noticed that whenever whenever we have these long green runs, usually Turpin is the leader at the end of them. McRae will be running second. McRae's pretty good at making the fuel run last long too.
McRae is no dummy when it comes to this stuff either. Yeah, he comes out of nowhere, it seems. We got almost 3 wide going into one here with Turpin and Babinger and the 82 car.
All right, so it looks like a little bit of an incident there, like you said, but it looks like everyone's going to wager on through that, so that's good that everyone was able to survive. Here comes Turpin to the pits now. The Turpin 454 car is going to dive into pit road, and let's see if McRae is going to stay out to lead a lap. 99 car, new sponsorship this week for the Tyler McRae team, by the way. They recently just got sponsored by snapmobile.shop. You can go there and use code McRae99 for discounts on multiple accessories and phone plans and just stuff like that. Tyler told me a bunch about it before the race. Sounded very interesting. Code McRae99 on snapmobile.shop. The new sponsor for Dropping Bombs Racing as Tyler McRae stays out to lead at least one lap. Let's see how many he's going to stay out for here. So the only cars that have yet to pit are Tyler McRae and Pat Sullivan. Sullivan has come into the pits. That leaves McRae as the lone soldier. He comes into the pits, and Jeff, it's going to cycle through like this. Octavio Rondoletto. Well, I guess I'll wait to see where Turpin comes out before I call it. Rondoletto is going to cycle through to the lead, though. I have seen Rondoletto hit the pylon, so Rondoletto will be the leader. Second is going to be Austin Edwards. And, well, when you look at that, Jeff, somehow the 01 of John Schwartz is going to cycle through in third out of all that when it cycles through.
Yeah, he pitted around the same time as Rondoletto, if I'm not mistaken, so he's probably a half a run into his run right now.
151 laps into this 350 lap affair. A lot of laps here tonight, but they go by quickly at the Irwindale Inner. It's about 0.3 mile speedway. This track running about 15-second laps. That's about 4 laps a minute with only one caution up to this point in the race. This BUTTKICKER 350 has been a great race. I want to talk about BUTTKICKER a little bit too. We're so happy to have BUTTKICKER on board. They've come along and become a big partner with XCal, a big part of our sponsorship package here. And I have to say, it's funny because I actually owned a BUTTKICKER, as did the president of XCal, Aaron Hilbush, before they ever came on board as a sponsor. We were a big fan of the product. That's why we were so happy to have them come on board and be partners with us. I have to say, be sure to get one if you have not already. That completely changes the game. I have one of those sim racing, or the next level racing seats, and it has a little hookup on the bottom for a BUTTKICKER. You don't need that. Even if you just have a desk chair, you can hook it up to that, but they actually made a BUTTKICKER hookup for the chair that I have. And just the way it vibrates your chair, and you get like the different like motor feels from the vibration, you can it makes you feel like you're driving a real car a lot more, which is big. If you're one of those sim racers maybe that's been out there in real life, raced a real car, you want to feel like the real thing much as possible, a BUTTKICKER is definitely essential. I'll tell you that much. Be sure to check them out at the BUTTKICKER website, and of course, be sure to use that code XCAL20 to get 20% off your next purchase, as that's a nice little part of the sponsorship deal we have with them. I wish we had that before I bought my own. We have a battle brewing for the lead here, though, Jeff. Octavio Rondoletto up front, and Edwards on fresher tires, all up his tailpipes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's gonna fight him real hard here because Rondoletto, like you said, he's probably got about 50 laps on those tires right now, and they're pretty much junk.
So up to the lead now is Matthew Baer, and actually John Schwartz has already come back in the pits, which makes me think here, Jeff, that Rondoletto might have to come back down pretty soon.
Yeah, well, because he's gonna sit out there and just lose time. I mean, he's getting beat by 3 or 4 tenths a lap here, easy.
Well, with this race only have one caution, Jeff, this has really turned into like a chess match here, and I mean like an absolute chess match in this thing. Because if this went green to the end, I would not. At this point, I can't tell you, Jeff, who I think's on the best strategy. I have no idea.
No, no. If there's no cautions, you run it till the gas tank's dry. Because even if you give up 3/4 of a second a lap, it's going to take 20 laps, 30 laps for those guys to get back around you. And you know, yeah, I would just stay out. That's just me.
I would probably run it dry too, just for the sake of possibly being a caution. I get why Short's pitted though. He wanted the fresher tires. He's going to go out there and be faster now. I'll see if it works out for him. Up front though, Edwards is in the lead. He's taking it away from Rondoletto. In third place right now, having a great run is Matthew Baer, but he has a mirror full of Colin Hefner on fresh tires. We'll see how long it lasts. Hefner now right on the bumper of that 19. He's peeking to the inside, and Hefner has the bumper in. He does get to the inside of Matthew Baer. Here comes Hefner, and Hefner looks like he's probably going to make pretty easy work out of the Baer machine on a little bit older tires here. Baer's tires aren't as old as I make them out to be right now, but Hefner is on fresher ones, and Hefner will take the third spot. Now here comes Kendrick Pryor to the inside. He's looking to take over fourth position. Pryor, by the way, Jeff, started all the way back in 30th position. He's running in fourth right now. Really good run for Kendrick Pryor.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh, we have to look on the racetrack. William Karp went around, but he keeps it going straight.
Yeah, that was almost really nasty.
Turpin now going to pick up another spot here over the 19 of Matthew Baer. A car that I haven't talked about at all tonight, the 48 I saw him, Jordan Babinger, also with that new SnapMobile.shop sponsorship. He is currently running in 17th position tonight, and for a guy who sits second in points, certainly it's kind of been a lackluster run so far for the 48 team. Haven't really seen him much.
It's early. He's another one of those upper echelon guys that just gets there. I mean, he's cool, calm, and collected most nights. We'll see if tonight's one of those nights.
that is big here. As we're getting really close to halfway, we're about maybe 8 laps away, I would say. Obviously, whenever we get there, that means it's Higgins the XCal Superfan time, and that'll be time for our new little halfway segment I'm going to introduce here, but we're getting close, still about 7 laps away. Edwards continues to lead. Rondoletto is still out there on the track running in second, so I think he's listening to what you said, Jeff. He's going to run this thing dry, see how far he can take it. Those two guys are about a second away from each other. That's 12 seconds all the way back to third place. 7 cars sit on the lead lap right now. Then you have 8th through 12th, 1 lap down. As we're getting close to halfway, though, still a lot of uncertainty in this race. I just can't believe, Jeff, that we haven't seen a couple cars get together and block a corner and cause a caution in this green flag run yet, though.
It's very surprising. I mean, I was in a couple 3-wide situations yesterday in the heat races, and we never did have a caution. I mean, there was a whole lot of banging and a couple spins and whatnot, but for the most part, they kind of spin out of the groove, so no need for a caution.
Up front, Edwards still with about a 1.1 second lead. Actually, Octavio's closed it down as of late a little bit. We expect the 77 to have to pit, and probably not too terribly long, but right now he's running a decent pace for being out there on older tires comparatively to our leader, Austin Edwards. Edwards, 2 races this season, he's finished in second and first positions, and he's looking to have another stellar run today as that 66 K2 sauce car running up front. He is side by side with some lap traffic right now, just trying to make his way through as smartly as he can. He's trying to go around it to not really cause much of an issue. He just put Brandon Varney 1 lap down. That leaves us with 6 cars on the lead lap. Varney's now going to get into the bumper there of Jordan Babinger, gives him a little bit of a tap. Those guys racing hard. I think I might have just saw a car around, but it was out of the groove if it was, so it wouldn't cause a yellow. As Edwards now gets around these guys, he will have a hole to pull back down low on the racetrack. He will, and he'll pull in behind Steven Rex. So this time by the flag stand, it is halfway, and we are going to give you an update on the SnapMobile.shop drivers, where they are running at this point in the race. A new part of their sponsorship deal is we're going to be telling you where they're running at the halfway point in the race. So currently the highest running Snapshot Mobile.shop car is Tyler McRae. He's running in 10th position right now. Then back in 16th, you are going to have Heather Patrick. 18th, Jordan Babinger. 21st will be Stephen Rex. And 31st will be Art Hendren. as it has not been a stellar day right now for the snapmobile.shop cars, but they do have one in the top 10 with Tyler McRae and a couple other not too far out. As we're at the halfway point, though, Higgins, the XCal superfan, always meandering around the speedway somewhere. Higgins, you got a microphone out there somewhere?
Well, Pete, I indeed do got a microphone down here. I'm down here trying to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to come down and trying to get him to come down to the track and sign my beer koozie. I keep tweeting at him, but he's not answering. You know, I'm like, oh, hey Arnie, come have a beer. Hey Schwartz, come down to the old RV. And well, shit, it looks like you went and blocked me. Kind of think this makes Terminator even better, knowing that he noticed me now, though. But anyways, we're going to Oxford next week. We're going to see a whole bunch of trading paint. It's definitely going to get nice and dirty there. Now, I wonder if I can get Mel Gibson to come down and sign my koozie. That'd be cool, right? Back to you, Petey.
All right, thank you, Higgins, the XCal superfan, as always, joining us here in the booth at the halfway point of the race. So we're halfway down, halfway to go here, Jeff, and still just one caution up to this point. These laps have been clicking by, and you know, one thing that I think you have to take into perspective, I might second myself here on this one. I'm going to say I think the guys have raced with a little bit of respect to the new damage model, not knowing what it can do. These guys are a little fearful of what this new damage model will present, what will happen if they do start racing aggressively and getting some wrecks. They might have more mandatory damage than usual, and they might ruin the race accidentally. But on the same token, we have seen a few incidents that also make me believe the guys really don't care about that.
Did they just change it again before the race and I didn't see anything?
They did. They added they did something little. I forgot what they did, but they made another little change on top of the other big one they did. And I guess it's just going to be something they're going to be messing around with a bunch here for the next few months. So unfortunately, they decided to change the damage model of the street stock, which I shouldn't say unfortunately. I think it's cool that they're trying to continually evolve this car and make it better. But the new damage model just wasn't quite ready yet. Now they're releasing these patches, and I think until they get the new one right, we're just gonna have to deal with a lot of updates to this car and a lot of uncertainty in the XCal season.
10-4, yeah. Last week, last week was scary. Everybody was scared about the new damage model. Any contact was just atrocious.
Edwards continues to lead. I'm looking for a battle for position. Looks like Turpin actually did get around Hefner for third, so that one's changed. 5 cars are on the lead lap now. Kendrick Cryer, the last car on the lead lap, he is in 5th. Then you got to go back to Varney in 6th, Jalbert in 7th, 8th is Aiden McConaughey, up to 9th now is Tyler McRae, and hey, now up in 10th is William Karp. That's as high as I've seen him run all night in that 08 machine. He's making up good progress. And a guy that's been quietly having a really nice race is in 11th, Charlie Beals. Doesn't look like he just hasn't. He started in 4th. He won a heat race yesterday. He just has really kept that car clean, though, and I have to imagine he's on the same setup as our leader, Austin Edwards. So you know it's a quick car, but he still has it well within striking distance of maybe a top 5.
Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of racing with Mr. Beals, so I don't have a whole lot to say about him, good or bad. So I just kind of watch. Austin Edwards, though, has a really fast setup. But I seen 2 setups this week that were really odd. There was one that was really tight and snug, and one that was really free, and it's they both made about the same kind of time. So it's very interesting how things work and different drivers drive.
All right, well, all my friends, we're past halfway. Be sure, if you're watching the Gamecast right now, to go into the comments, the live chat, and let us know what you thought about Higgins at halfway. Let us know how your favorite driver's doing right now. I'm curious to hear who you guys are rooting for, who your favorite driver is, all of our friends out there, what you're paying attention to. What have you thought about this race? A big question you could answer for us is, what do you think about no cautions up to this point? We're closing on lap 200 and still only just 1 caution at this point in the race. That was pretty astonishing. And they are all on a different array of strategies right now. Rondoletto's actually been out there for a while. He's stayed out longer than I thought he'd be able to, Jeff. I have to imagine, though, the 77 laps are running numbered here. I'd expect him probably within 10.
Absolutely. You could tell the rear tires are hurting him coming off the corners. You can see the car starting to slide a little bit. Front, as of right there, I mean, he's leaving that door open for Babbinger. He's going to be coming soon. Varney takes off to the pits.
So Varney's going to pull in. He was running in 6th, 1 lap down. Kendrick Cryer just went a lap down to Edwards. Edwards finally got around Cryer. Cryer's now going to attempt to put Charlie Beals and William Karp, who are racing for 10th, another lap down. That put them 2 laps down. Beals actually did just take 10th from Karp, so Beals now back up in the top 10. Here comes Edwards now to the inside of the 08 of William Karp. He is trying to put Karp 2 laps down. Karp fighting to stay, just 1 lap down, but I do not think he'll be successful. The 66 of Edwards is an absolute rocket ship, and he is going to put Karp 2 laps down. So 2 laps down now is William Karp, as I'm just still keeping my eye on Rondoletto. I know he's pulling in any lap now. That 77 car is running really slow right now. Those tires are so shot. He needs to come down and get some fresh ones soon. And we're probably getting to the point now, Jeff, where after another pit cycle here, we'll probably start to get a better idea of who's sitting pretty and who's not.
Absolutely.
Caution.
Oh,
Okay, that changes things a little bit as we get our second caution of the race on lap number 200, and it looks like Bruce Hellmuth is a little torn up in the infield. So caution came out, and here's what happened. I actually have the view of it. It was a battle between Greg Holes, Kendrick Cryer, and Bruce Hellmuth. Holes got to the inside of Hellmuth. Hellmuth didn't realize that Holes got to his inside. Hellmuth drove across Holes' nose trying to get to the inside of Cryer, and that just shoved the 61 into the 15. The 15 spun around. Holes spun around. His car kept going. And looks like Hellmuth got the worst of it. I'm trying to see what happened here to Cryer. Varney actually got a pretty good piece of that too. Varney slammed right into the door of Hellmuth, and Chase Johnson got a pretty decent piece of that one too. Looks like Hellmuth might have went over, but that is what has caused the second caution of this race, as we had just 4 cars on the lead lap that are all obviously going to come down and get serviced.
everybody should be in right now. There's nobody's gonna fall for that Chase Johnson trick.
I don't think so after that last run we just saw, as it did not work out well for Chase. Chase right now currently sits 27 laps down and 31st. Actually, Johnson,
27 laps. Huh?
yeah, he must have had some sort of an issue because, yeah, that car's more damaged. He must have gotten into an accident too. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, I got to wonder if Chase Johnson is happy he spent the money he spent tonight to be in that 82 car.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not at this point. I mean, he gave it a good run for a little while, but it has gone quickly south for him as he got turned into the wall by someone. We're getting reports, so I don't know exactly what happened, but that's just what I've heard. Getting back on the lead lap, though, we're going to have Tyler Jalbert, Aiden McConaughey, and Tyler McCrae. Actually, I'm not going to say that because they haven't given the waiver rounds yet, and that can change. That's a live thing that changes, so we're going to have to see, but there will be some waiver round cars, which should give us close to 10 cars in the lead lap. Well, let's get a word in here with our in-car reporter. We haven't talked to him in a minute. Jose Godino right now, running 23rd, 5 laps down. I want to see what he thought from the driver's perspective, what it was like to have to run such long of a green flag run there. As here we go, we're going to try to connect with him. And Jose Godino, it's PD up in the booth. You got a copy?
Copy.
Well, Jose, right now, we just had about a 150-lap green flag run. I have to ask you, man, how's it feel to be out there running green for so long?
Well, it's tough, especially in such a short race, a short track like this. So you are majority of time turning left, no time to rest a bit. But it's good. It's good to try to find some strategy out of the green green la green flag pit stops.
Well, tell me, Jose, as a driver, how stressful is it just having, because like you said, this is a very short track, and obviously you're pretty much always almost racing with someone. There's always going to be someone in front of you, always going to be someone behind you, a lot of the time someone next to you. As a driver, just how stressful is that, always having to be near another car compared to some of the bigger tracks?
Well, it's similar to plate races because you have to be completely focused 100% of the time, because as you said, there is always a car in front and always a car behind, so you don't have a second to try to rest your head.
All right, well, that is Jose Godino, our in-car reporter, driver the number 20 car. We'll be talking to him more throughout the night as we get some more cautions, though. Who knows? We might not see another caution the way that first run went, Jeff, although I wouldn't say that. I think the intensity might pick up a little bit now.
Well, this pit caution flag surely came at a very opportune time for myself as well, as I'm just getting back. And this
So,
will get interesting. There's no doubt about it. Everybody on fresh tires. It's getting late. It's
we're
going to
green.
get good.
We're back green, so here's how they run. Aiden McConaughey's the leader now. Second place is Austin Edwards. Third is Luke Turpin. Fourth is Colin Hefner. 7 cars are on the lead lap. 5th, 6th, and 7th, William Karp, Patrick Sullivan, and Tyler Jalbert. And somehow through the pit cycle, Jeff, Octavio Rondoletto got trapped 2 laps down in 16th, as things have just went all topsy-turvy here.
Well, he was on that other pit cycle, which is kind of put him behind the barn door, I guess.
We'll see if he's able to recover. That's going to be a tough hole to dig himself out of.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he's going to need a lot of luck. We have a car diving off the racetrack. It's the 84, and it dives back onto the racetrack. I'm sorry, that PUD car is just out of control. He does not know where it's going right now, as he is currently 28, 13 laps down. I believe that's just from speed. Up front, Aiden McConaughey, he is continuing to lead, although no, Edwards actually to get around him, so Edwards has moved into the top spot. Battle is on for second now, as McConaughey has Turpin looking to the inside. And Austin Edwards trying to become our second two-time winner this year. Luke Turpin looking to become our first 3-time winner this year, as we only have one driver with 2 wins, and it's Luke Turpin. The guy up front that's trying to spoil that party is Colin Hefner. Remember how I said earlier, Hefner dominated when we came here in the preseason. That Hefner car, I don't know if we've seen all he has yet tonight, Jeff. That 87 might really have something for these guys.
That guy is sneaky fast. I mean, you don't see him, and then poof, he's a rocket. And
He almost has that John Schwartz ability. He just seems to be there at the end of races. I honestly, and I own John Schwartz's car. He's my driver. I'm a big fan of John Schwartz. I'd say that Hefner, I think, probably is a little bit quicker just naturally than Schwartz, but he has that same like uncanny ability to always have the car running near the front at the end of the race.
Yeah, JB Smooth, as we like to call him in the clubhouse there, he's not the fastest guy, but he's one of the smoothest guys over the whole race. I mean, it's just amazing. He just does stuff that is unreal.
Yeah, 10th race of the season, and we had like 10 preseason races. He only caused 1 caution in the entire preseason, has yet to cause one this entire season. And he is consistently one of the cars with the lowest incident point totals. And, you know, he's the points leader, and there's probably a reason he's the points leader when you listen to those stats. He is just consistently there. Currently running in 13th. Talking about the cars up front, though. Edwards is in the lead. Turpin's in second. This is getting tight up front. The car of Blake Wynn separates the top 3. Our top 3, though, all running near each other. They're all on the same tires right now. And now that they're all kind of near each other, as Wynn gets out of the way, it doesn't look like Edwards is that much faster than Turpin and Hefner. I mean, I know he's stuck behind Jalbert in some lap cars right now, but he's not been able to get away from these guys.
I don't suggest that outside move by Edwards here.
No, not with everyone on fresh tires, because Jalbert's stuff is too good for, I think, Edwards to make that work right now. He's peaking again, though. He's up there, and now he has a mirror full of Turpin. Turpin's right there, and Luke Turpin hasn't led a lot of laps in this race, but he's been consistently running in the top 5 pretty much the whole show. As here we go. Jalbert's going to get to the inside of Karp right now. This is not for position. Jalbert's the last car in the lead lap in 6th right now. That's why he's putting up a fight right now with Edwards. The 08 of Karp, he is not battling for any position right here right now. He is actually running in... Actually, he is on the lead lap. That's for 5th. I didn't even notice. William Karp was in 5th. He's going to lose it now to Jalbert. He'll move back to 6th. Karp, he must have pulled off a nice strategy move there to get up that far in the field.
Turpin gets into the back of Edwards and bounces up a little bit, leaves room for Colin Hefner to get inside of him. And they're all three wide. 3 top 10 cars, 3 wide in a corner. Scary, scary, scary.
That's brutal. That's 3 in the top 6. As they're all right on top of each other. Hefner still underneath Turpin. Hefner, I think, is going to pick up the spot, and he'll have to set his sights on Austin Edwards. As Edwards is giving the bumper now to Jalbert, and I'll tell you what, Jeff, that's not a guy you should give the bumper to, because now he's going to block you, and you can't give Jalbert the bumper, because the second you do anything aggressive with him, he's going to turn it up 10 levels.
Yeah, Austin Edwards guy.
Edwards just says, see you later.
He obviously hasn't been around long enough to see how Jalbert races.
Oh, Jalbert's driver. Oh, he shoves Edwards up the track. Jalbert gets back to his inside. Hefner's now going to have a shot at the lead. Jalbert and Edwards going at it here. Let's see if Hefner gives like the little casual bump to Jalbert and gets them both out of the way. That's what I would do if I was him right now, as he is running right behind these two. Jalbert and Edwards side by side. And yeah, Jeff, the second that Edwards bumped Jalbert to get out of the way, I knew if Jalbert got back to the inside, Edwards wasn't going to be able to keep that, because Jalbert wasn't going to let him get away with that.
Negative. What I would look for here is the Turpinator to give Colin Hefner a little shot if they get close enough, and have it rebound into Jalbert and get up into Edwards and open the hole up for both of them guys to get by.
That would be a very Luke Turpin move to do. They're side by side for the lead now, as Edwards cannot get around the 16 on the high side. Hefner dueling for the lead. Hefner on the inside. I think Edwards going to let him have it. Edwards will, and he's going to slide in front of Turpin. That was a smart move there by the 66, as Pud's going to move Wynn out of the way behind him, but that doesn't mean anything not worth talking about. Here we go. Now Turpin going to give a little bit of a bump there to the 66 of Edwards. Hefner now in the lead has to deal with Jalbert, as right now, if you're in the lead, it's nice, Jeff. It's good to lead laps, but the guy in the lead is the guy that has to try to put 5th place Tyler Jalbert a lap down.
Yeah, that's not a position I'd want to be in. Of course, I don't think I'd ever find myself in that position for a while yet, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be that guy.
I like where Luke Turpin's sitting in 3rd right now. He has a good view of everything, enough time to miss it. I want to be Turpin more than anyone else. I would not want to be Colin Hefner right now, as he is just trying to find a way around the weapon. Quickly getting close to just 100 laps to go, and this is probably about maybe a one-stop race till the finish, maybe 2. We're pretty close to that window. We'll have to see. A car does come into the pits. That's our 4th place runner, Aiden McConaughey. That'll move Jalbert up to 4th. Wow. Now just 4 cars on the lead lap.
McConaughey can make it on fuel from here. Might be what he's thinking.
That could be the strategy. We'll have to see if what kind of strategies these guys are all thinking here at the end of this one. There might be some guys that we're not even talking about multiple laps down that are brewing up something that we're not seeing. Only 2 cautions up to this point in the race. Lap 234, Colin Hefner for the first time tonight out front leading laps, and it looks like Aiden is pulling the similar strategy that Chase Johnson pulled earlier in the race. He came into the pits, took the full fuel, and we will see what he can do here. Up front, though, Hefner's still not able to get around that 16 car of Jalbert. Jalbert running a decent enough pace right now, though, where it's really not clogging up the battle for the lead.
No, not yet, but Hefner is going to start getting a little anxious.
Especially when Edwards starts to put on some more pressure. Honestly, I think what's happening here, Jeff, is I think Edwards gets it now. I think after that shot from Jalbert, he understands, and I think he's just lagging back and waiting for everyone to get going. As it looks like Bruce Helmuth went around again. He got it back going. But I think Edwards is just laying back, and he's going to let Hefner do the dirty work and see if he can pull it off.
Absolutely. What I'm wondering is, what is Luke Turpin up to? He's backing off back there. Is he saving tire, waiting for these guys to get by, knowing that it's going to be a while before they get by Jalbert? Or is he hurting?
Yeah, one of the two. Oh, here we go. Hefner gets in Jalbert's quarter panel. Jalbert throws the chop block. Here we go again. 87 car. Those brake rotors are bright red right now. Jalbert gets loose in front of Hefner. Hefner has to check up. Hefner, let's see if he is willing to waste time here racing, or will he try to get around the 16 car? He is right there on his bumper. Now he has a mirror full of Austin Edwards. Luke Turpin that you were just talking about, yeah, he's pretty much right back in this battle now because of this. And these 3 are right on top of each other. And right now, Tyler Jalbert is just kind of setting the table for a great battle for the lead, because these guys can't get around him. It's just so tough, Jeff, because it's the situation where you know you're faster than the car in front of you, but you're just not fast enough to do anything about it. And this guy's on the lead lap. Jalbert is running in 4th right now. He doesn't have to give you the spot. It's just a tough situation to be one of these guys.
Wow, Jalbert's in 4th, huh?
Yep, up to 4th.
Wow. That's impressive. So only 3 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, well, 4 if you count. I mean, Jalbert is on the lead lap, but barely.
Right.
hanging on for dear life right now as Hefner is all over him. They are going around the lap car of Greg Holes running 27th right now. Just kind of been a tough day here for Holes. As I'm sure Greg is tired from the weekend. He was out at the racetrack in real life all weekend long down in Atlanta and probably had to get back home. And now, unfamiliar track, I'm sure. Is this a weird track, Jeff? There's not a lot of places on iRacing that you're ever going to see this track used besides XCal, probably.
Oh yeah, I mean, iRacing doesn't have go-karts yet, so probably not a whole lot of use here. Do they even run Legends here?
No, they don't. Nothing comes here in official like ever. Maybe once in a great while they'll throw it in the street stocks or something, but it's very far and few between. As our leader's trying to go around Matthew Bear right now, a couple laps down. But a big thing here that actually has been a conversation the last few weeks with a lot of the XCal admins is the future of Irwindale Inter on the schedule. Next season, as Jailbert gets into Bear, that gets Jailbert out of the groove. Jailbert got too distracted trying to mess with the 19 of Matthew Bear, and he opens up the door for Hefner. And that he shot himself in the foot there, Jeff, as now all the leaders are going to get underneath him. He got too focused on messing with the 19 and forgot he was on the lead lap racing for it.
Absolutely. I don't know why he was riding Matthew Bear up so high when all he had to do was just stick in his line and he could have just, taken it to the house, stayed on the lead lap. But, loss of focus, I guess.
Loss of focus. Here we go for the lead. Now that Edwards doesn't have to deal with Jailbert, he seems to be comfortable to race for the lead. This time by the flag stand, Edwards is in the inside of the 87. And Jeff, honestly, I think the 66 was just waiting for the 87 to get around Jailbert, because it looks like he's able to get around Hefner without much of a problem. They door into the corner a little bit. This time by 100 laps to go at the start-finish line. And Jailbert's just going to let Turpin go. I think Jailbert wants to see these guys get to racing. And now Edwards will be out in the lead. Let's see if Hefner gets back to him. He won't. And yeah, Jeff, it looks like maybe Edwards was just kind of waiting for the 87 to get around Jailbert.
Yeah, he walked around Hefner there real easy.
So he is out in front now as he works up on the lap car here of Art Hendren. Edwards looking to become just our second two-time winner this year. There's a long way to go between then and now, though. We're going to have to see what happens. So he's got 3 cars in the lead lap now. Then Tyler Jailbert's in 4th, 1 lap down. Charlie Beals in 5th, 1 lap down. And those are the only 2 cars 1 lap down. Everyone else is 2 laps down or more. We have a little bit of an incident. Octavio Rondoletto and Brandon Varney get into each other. Those two not happy with each other whatsoever. They get their cars back going. Everyone saves it. And I'll tell you what, I was about to talk about, though, how the future of Irwindale Inter is kind of on the questions of the XCal admin's mind. Just because there's so many rules here with the lines, and it's a small track. No one really likes this track all that much. There's talks about maybe in future seasons replacing it with a track like Iowa or Martinsville or a different place. I'll tell you what, though, the kind of race that these guys have put on this track today, it's definitely... For all the people that hate this track, it's not a good sign because it's been such a good race today. It'd be hard to take a date away from this track unless things really go sour here at the end.
And the really bad thing about this track is that it doesn't have a whole lot of pit stalls, and it leaves, it makes qualifying for the race tough. So I would not mind seeing the outer run instead, but hey.
I think we'll always see the outer run. I think it's more likely that you see this race get replaced with Martinsville or something in the future, but those are all conversations for the off-season. We got the 2021 season. Certainly the Irwindale Inter, this form of the track, maybe even the outer inner could be introduced in the future, but I'd say that this version of the track is probably in jeopardy moving forward. Great race tonight, though. Maybe it's saving grace. Luke Turpin up to 2nd place right now. He's gotten around Colin Hefner. And right now, Jeff, that 87 of Hefner, it's just dropping off like a rock. He is really having a hard time with the handling of that car. Luckily, though, only 3 cars in the lead laps, still in 3rd.
Yeah, he's going to have some room for a while there to breathe and relax a little bit because he's not going to get lapped for a while.
Jailbert has come into the pits from 4th, so that moves Charlie Beals up to 4th. Well, would you look at that, Jeff? Heather Patrick running in 5th right now. What a great run for the 22 team.
That is a fantastic run for Danica.
Great run there for the driver that's called Danica, Heather Patrick. None of those are actually his name. It's Sean. It's just, I guess sending iRacing a message is just too tall of an order for Sean to do. And so we see Heather every time he gets on here. Heather, though, in 5th right now. That's a great run. And, the thing about Heather is, I'm going to call him Sean just because I don't like calling him Heather. I'm going to call him Sean.
Oh, my. Patrick Sullivan just spun Luke Turpin into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like they all got it back going. I see Turpin still going the right way. They're right next to each other now, though. Let's see what happens here. Hefner's going to take back the spot. Hefner's going to move up to second. Turpin only lost about 2 seconds with that. Turpin gets underneath Helmuth, and Turpin cannot be too happy about that one there, as he was running only under a second behind the leader.
Absolutely. I don't think you'll see Patrick Sullivan come up on Turpin again that close.
No, Pat Sullivan should know better than that at this point. Sullivan actually running the 29 car tonight. That's because Tyler Jalbert unfortunately joined in Sullivan's number, and Sullivan will not be penalized for that since it was not in the proper number we're used to seeing him in, the 16 car. So up front, Edwards 2.7 second advantage over Colin Hefner, and it's looking like one pit stop left in this race here, Jeff. If it goes under green, what are some of the things that Hefner and Turpin can do here to try to get some space between them and Edwards? Can they maybe come in early, try to short pit it? It looks like we have a car around. I'm seeing a bunch of smoke. No, I'm not seeing any car. I just saw a bunch of smoke. I think someone might have went around, but they must have got it back going. But do you think maybe we see some cars starting to pit now and try to get some fresh tires earlier, Jeff? Any sort of strategy coming into play?
I think they're too scared of a caution. If they pit now and a caution comes out, they could be in big trouble. They could be trapped 5 laps down.
It's a huge gamble at this place. It certainly is. As our leader Edwards now puts our points leader John Schwartz another lap down. Schwartz running 9th right now. He's going to be 3 laps down. That's how much of a disparity there is between the field right now. Still a great run for Schwartz, but 3 laps behind our leaders right now. That's just how much better the leaders have kind of been today. As Charlie Beals has went around. He's on the infield. Beals is, I think he's still going to be in 4th. Let's see if this time if they're going to score Danica in front of him or not. And it will be, Beals will still be in 4th. He's 2 laps down now, though. That spin did cost him a little bit. As our leaders continue to work their way through lap traffic. Looks like Luke Turpin's caught Colin Hefner again. They're in a 3-wide situation without Hefner. Turpin, though, it looks like a little bit of contact, maybe. A little bit squirrely there at the end, but Turpin will take second back.
Yeah, it was a little heated there going into 3 and 4. You were 3 wide there with John Schwartz and Beals, I believe it was, and maybe Varney.
It looks like everyone recovered from that one. That is just a... For right now, the battle for the points lead, it is close between Jordan Babinger and John Schwartz, but quickly closing in with some good weeks lately is Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin running 2nd right now, Schwartz in 9th, Babinger in 13th, and Turpin continuing to make up points on these guys. It's going to be hard because Babinger and Schwartz, me and Jeff talked about, you usually can find those 2 cars in the top 10 just about every week. But Turpin, if he keeps finishing 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, I mean, he's going to make up points, and it's a long season, this XCal season. 30 races, Jeff.
That 99 car of Tyler McRae is just now coming out of the pits. He's going to be 5, maybe 6 laps down by the time this all winds out. And we'll see how that plays out in the end here. He's the one that's going to gamble the first time at the quick pit.
We'll see if it pays off. I don't think he'll be a threat for the win because he's already 3 laps down or 2 laps down or one of the 2. But we'll see if maybe he picks up some more spots here. As things are really starting to get a little bit more hectic on the racetrack. Just the way these cars are moving around and the move these guys are starting to make. We are down to about 70 laps to go now. Laps keep clicking away. Only 2 cautions here in the BUTTKICKER 350 so far. McRae back out there on fresh tires. He did go 6 laps down, but he's going to get to the inside of Edwards. He's going to make it just 5 laps again. So, I mean, if the caution were to come out, he'd be pretty screwed at this point either way, but at least that's one more lap he'll have back in the Snap Mobile.shop machine, as now he tries to get around Tyler Batchelder. And lots of cars on fresh tires, and for our leaders now, it's kind of, they're done doing the lapping. Now they're just getting out of the way of the cars with fresh tires.
That's a ticket. Absolutely. Let's just hope and pray that we can survive this race. We've already put ourselves in the right position. Let's just hope everything plays out the way we want.
That's really all you can do if you're a driver, is just keep your fingers crossed and hope it works out in your favor. The leader, Edwards, right now, behind a little bit of beating and banging there between Tyler Batchelder and Logan Jones. Still just 3 cars in the lead lap as we see more and more guys start to dive into the pits. Luke Turpin has started to make up a little bit of ground on Edwards. He has down to 3.5 seconds. It was about 4.5 seconds not too long ago. Hefner, unfortunately, is continuing to lose time. It's not going quite the way the Hefner team would like it to go. So I feel like pit stop's probably around 50 laps to go if my calculations are right. I would guess Luke Turpin's probably going to be the last car to pit. You're going to see that car stay out the longest. I wonder just how long these guys can go because I'm not positive on the window.
No, I would think that you probably, I don't remember when Luke Turpin pitted last, but I would suspect he'd be the last one to come in, like you said. And he's 3.5 seconds behind Austin Edwards here, so Edwards got a pretty good lead.
He does, as he has some room to work with here. I wonder what these guys are saving and what's going on in their minds right now. As Edwards now gets up to the 81 car, Blake Wynn looking to put him another lap down. It's been a tough day for the Wynn team. They're running in 27th right now, 12 laps down. I will say, out of the cars that haven't had incidents, the one having the worst day so far is the 84 of Ryan Soper, the D4 Motorsports machine. It's 26 laps down without incident. And that car has just been a little bit off the pace this evening. It's we should call him the fifth turn, Jeff. It's fun to beat up on putt every now and again. That car, though, Jeff, tonight, I'm not kidding. Every time I've seen it, it's been way out of the groove, and like it takes the high side around the racetrack, then he goes up to the Irwindale outer wall on the straightaways, and then it goes through the high side in the corners. I don't know what line he's been running, but I mean, I guess he's been out of the way, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. He's being overly cautious. He's just, he's got a history of rubbing people the wrong way, being a little careless on the racetrack, not knowing, the ins and outs of real racing, where you don't fight guys that are 8 laps ahead of you, so he may be being a little extra cautious tonight, which is not a bad thing, but it's not going to hurt. It's not going to help his finish any.
And most certainly will not, as that car is running in 29th position right now. Tough run for that D4 Motorsports car. Got to give him a shout out, though. Right now we are live from the D Sports Motorsports hauler. As unfortunately, here comes our leader Edwards down pit road, but unfortunately our broadcast booth went down. Doug Burns and the guys at How to Suck at iRacing have had internet issues. A tough night for the XCal Racing broadcast team, but we are here on the Gangcast and we are making it happen. As Edwards is going to come into the pits, Hefner likewise is in the pits. And Turpin's still on the racetrack. I say likely to be the last car to pit. He will be. He is still out there right now. Edwards, the right side tires go on. They put fuel in that car. Let's see how long he stays in the pits. Hefner took 4. Hefner took the full 4 tires. Looks like he is waiting on pretty much all the fuel here. As here go the left side tires on Edwards. 4 tires for both these guys. Hefner gets out. I don't think there's any way that he beat the 66 out. We'll have to see what Turpin does. 66 now, waiting on the rest of his fuel. He's going to get out of there. So now Hefner and the 66 both get out of the pits. Those guys, we'll see where they cycle through. Looks like Hefner is going to cycle through 3 laps down in 6th. And the 66 of Austin Edwards, let's see where he cycles through this time. He crosses the start-finish line 2 laps down in 3rd. So Edwards is still in 3rd right now after all that. As that's impressive.
That's very impressive. Now, Luke Turpin really needs to, he's going to make his bed right now. Either you pit and you don't lose time to these guys, or you stick it out and hope for a caution.
Now, Jeff, you know exactly what he's going to do? He's going to run this thing dry. He's going to come into the pits for a splash, and he's going to pray to God that that's enough to keep enough distance between him and Edwards. I bet you any money that's what he does. That's a Luke Turpin move right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you made your bed. You got to lie in it. So, I agree, but man, I don't know how much more fuel he's got in there. If it's 5 laps, it's one thing. I think he's coming. There you go.
Oh, he's coming. At this point, then, no, you probably take the tires. I was going to see how long he could run it, but no, he could not run it that long, so he probably comes in the tires. Let's see if maybe he goes for 2. Edwards now is going to cycle up to 2nd. He actually just passed Heather Patrick, who was in 2nd for position. So we're going to be able to see live what happens here on the pits. I think Edwards is going to have the lead. Edwards had a really good pit cycle. It's going to be tough for Turpin to beat that, but if anyone was going to, it would probably be Turpin. The right side tires go on the race car. Let's see if they run around to the left sides.
I doubt it. Because he's counting gallons. He's not even looking at tires.
Yep, left sides aren't going on. It's just right sides. And there we go. He leaves. He might have it over Edwards. Here comes Edwards. Edwards is cycling through the corner.
Oh, man.
It's going to be so close. Turpin's on the outside of Edwards. This is for the win with 50 laps to go. Turpin doors him. Turpin doors him again. They touch, and Turpin gets shuffled up the racetrack. Edwards takes the lead. Turpin is not going to let him get away. He knows he has to deal with the 66 car right now, or he might get too far away.
You know what time it is?
What
It's
time's that, Jeff?
It's Turpin time.
Oh, here we go. He gets into his bumper again. Luke Turpin. He knows he has to use these lap cars as an advantage. I think Edwards is faster, Jeff. I do. I think Edwards is a little faster. I think Luke knows that too, and we're going to see Luke make the moves now as Luke is right there on his bumper. You're going to see Luke Turpin drive Edwards to his absolute edge here, and this lap traffic play a big factor in this race. This is the battle for the win. It's a two-man show.
It is the lap traffic is going to be the deciding factor here. If there's enough lap traffic to keep Edwards back to Turpin here, Turpin wins. If there's not enough and Edwards can get a gap, man, I think he's going to walk away with it.
We'll have to see. There's room right now for Edwards. He has a little bit of racetrack, but then we have a three-car gaggle in front of him, and Karp, Babinger, and Jalbert. Remember, earlier in the race,
Lord.
and Edwards had issues. Turpin's right there on Edwards' bumper. Here we go. Edwards has caught it. Let's see if him and Jalbert have more issues as that earlier in the race. Side-by-side racing in front of our leaders right now. They get underneath the 16 of Jalbert. That is the best thing that Austin Edwards could hope to see right now, as it looks like Tyler Jalbert will just succumb to the leaders. Here comes Edwards now peeking to the inside of Babinger. Babinger's not going to let him have it. Babinger cuts the nose off. Turpin goes to the outside. Turpin's really loose. He saves it, and they are still going to be nose to tail as Babinger, though, is unwilling to heed way to the 66. 66 is in a box right now. Turpin gets a run off the corner. He checked up a little bit, though, I think, because he went under the line and he knew it. Turpin gets the car back going, and Karp's going to cut him off now as these lap cars are starting to play a factor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is getting very exciting. You don't get to see this when you're mired in 30th place, racing around the racetrack behind a bunch of other slow cars.
Ooh,
This is
Babinger cuts the nose off there, but it won't work. He tried to cut it off too late. Edwards gets to the inside. Turpin rockets off the corner. He knows he can't waste time. Babinger cuts off Turpin now. Babinger gets in there. Turpin just trying to make up time on the leader. Now for Edwards, clean racetrack, and then he gets up to Turpin's teammate Matthew Baer. So Baer maybe could help out Turpin here and hold up the 66 a little bit. 48 does get out of the way. And for Luke Turpin here, he is really relying on his teammate Baer to make life hard on Austin Edwards.
if Matthew Baer is paying attention here, he absolutely could help Mr. Luke Turpin out here a little bit.
He could. Baer's not getting out of the way. He's staying low so far. Edwards is pretty much there. Let's see if Baer gets out of the way. Baer will not. He's
Baer overdrive it.
He overdrove it a little bit. He gets loose, and yeah, Edwards is probably going to get him. Edwards does get to the inside, and I think he was trying to help Turpin there. He probably just got a little ahead of himself there and got the car loose. It kind of helped, though, because Turpin is right back to the bumper of Edwards. Maybe we spoke too soon. I think that 454 might be just about as quick as the 66 right now, because he's hanging.
Listen, I turned a couple wrenches on that car. She's going to be okay. He's fast. I didn't see Edwards' times anywhere, but this heat might be helping Edwards and hurting Luke a little bit.
40 laps to go that time by the flag stand. Still a long way to go to decide this one in a race that's only seen 2 cautions, 311 laps in. They go around the lap car now of Ben Eaton. They're coming up on Putt again, who continues to run the high line around the bull ring for some reason.
He put a Darlington stripe on that wall over there.
Yeah, the only driver that could have possibly hit the wall would have been Putt. No one else was even close. 454 of Turpin in second right now. He is right behind Austin Edwards. They're coming up now on Kenny Tripp and Pat Sullivan, Derek Colson. A few of these guys are going to be coming up on. Could make life difficult on him. We'll just have to see. Really, it just is a matter of if when Edwards catches these guys, if they're racing, and when Edwards catches these guys, if they're feeling like giving them a spot or not. That's really going to be a big factor here, as Edwards only about a 0.4 second advantage over Turpin. Turpin's driving it deeper into the corner. Edwards is getting off better, but Turpin is running more mistake-free than Edwards. It seems like Turpin's able to pick up some ground every now and again when Edwards makes an error, as Edwards now goes to put 7th place Pat Sullivan 4 laps down.
It's going to be interesting when we come up to Kenny Tripp here. Who does Kenny like better? Austin Edwards or Luke Turpin?
Honestly, this is one where I don't know if Kenny even cares. Kenny might just let him race, but they might have a personal bias. Actually, Kenny is Jalbert's teammate, and Jalbert and Edwards had issues tonight, so it could go Luke's way. We'll have to see. Derek Colson running right in front of these guys. Colson having a pretty quiet run tonight. I know he got a new sim rig set up. He's very excited about that. Running 22nd, 9 laps down, for the 5 car, no incidents, knocking on wood. He has yet to have a single incident point this race. And as things get hectic in front of him, he gets bumped a few times. I really hope I didn't just jinx you, Derek. A good run tonight, though, nonetheless, for the 5 team, as here we go. Our leaders are in heavy lap traffic, and oh, they are all stacked up on one another. They are going to go side by side in front of our leaders. Here goes Turpin up the middle. He splits Godino and Edwards. It's not going to work. The car just won't stick up there right now. Tripp goes around Coulson. Looks like everyone's going to be able to get around Coulson here as Coulson's up on the racetrack. Yep, Edwards goes by. Turpin gets to the inside. Turpin should be okay. And Tripp is going to get out of Edwards' way. Tripp moves up the racetrack. And actually, Tripp did let him under him, but Tripp's not just necessarily letting him pass him as they're continuing to battle for those spots. As their next lap car they'll have to deal with will be Logan Jones, who had that early race black flag. He currently came back to 21st, but he is still 9 laps down, hasn't really recovered from that as our leaders get through this lap traffic. And Tripp gives the 66 a huge shove. Oh, what was that about?
That's probably payback for Jalbert.
It didn't really mess up the 66 much, but my goodness, that was a shot right there. Like that, you'd have a hard time telling me that one wasn't intentional. Like that was you took a shot right there at the 66. That did help Turpin. Turpin's right there on his bumper. They are continuing to get closer and closer to one another. Turpin is all over the 66 of Edwards. Turpin gets a better exit that time. And as this run goes on, I don't know. I think that 454 car might be handling a little bit better than Edwards right now. And the crazy part is Turpin's on 2, Edwards is on 4.
Yeah, left side tires don't matter one bit here. They're not getting used up at all.
I kind of figured as much. This is a very bright tire heavy track the way the banking works. But Turpin all up the back bumper right now. And we have a car in the Soper. These guys are going to be coming up on Jalbert again, though. Brandon Varney. Oh, yeah, this is going to get interesting, Jeff. They're coming up on Varney, McConaughey, Cryer, and Jalbert. And this is what's going to separate the men from the boys here. Whoever walks away with this one will have completely earned it. As here they come on Tyler Jalbert. This is going to be interesting to see. This time by the flag stand, 25 laps to go. Jalbert will go to the outside. Let's see if he has any feelings in his back pocket for 66.
No, he wouldn't have went that high if he...
Oh, Turpin gets into 66. Turpin gets to the inside. The 66 of Edwards goes up the racetrack. They're side by side for the lead. Turpin dives underneath Austin Edwards.
Look at Jalbert trying to close the hole.
Jalbert's going to try to fill the hole. He can't get there, though. He can't get there, and now the 66 is behind Luke Turpin, and now Luke Turpin has to deal with the lap traffic.
I don't think Turpin can run away from the 66 here either. So he's going to have to deal with what he just gave Edwards, and here it comes.
Edwards back to his inside. Turpin pulls up the racetrack, and Turpin just gave him the spot back. I don't understand that, Jeff. It looked like he just gave it to him.
He might have gotten a iRacing black and had to hold off for a second.
Interesting. Well, Turpin's back to second. Back to the lead is Edwards. They go around McConaughey. That's no issue. McConaughey's running in 10th. They're coming up now in a couple of the slower cars of Art Hendren and Johnny B, racing for 27th place right now. They should be able to make it by those two, no issue. Edwards really loose in front of Turpin. Turpin peeks the nose back in. He had it in there. Edwards didn't get a great corner because he was anticipating Turpin to jump down low. Turpin all over the back bumper. This time by 20 to go, Jeff.
Oh, no.
Here comes McConaughey. I don't know what McConaughey is doing. He dives underneath
He's just
Turpin.
getting in the way.
Yeah, he is just
That's
absolutely
terrible.
He is just getting in the way here as he drives.
That is absolutely
There's a wrecked car in front of him. That's Pud. That was Pud. There's a wrecked car in turn 3.
And Blake win now.
Oh my goodness, they are messing up this battle for the lead.
Carp was just in the wall right there.
Things are going down with 20 laps to go. Caution! Caution out on the speedway, Jeff, with 20 laps to go. Our third caution of the race.
There definitely needed to be a caution there because, I mean, not to jump all over this guy's chain, but I mean, Luke got screwed.
He definitely did, and that was. I would have been curious to see how that played out, but
That McConaughey should get black for even fighting with those guys. I mean, somebody should tell these guys to move out of the way.
He was 4 laps down. That's not within the league. Like XCal gives you can race when you're 1 lap down. Anything after that, you're supposed to give way. So McConaughey 4 laps down in 14th. That was not legal. We'll see if these guys pit now, Jeff. Do you think they come down for tires?
Man, Luke just pretended like he was going to do that. There's only 2 or 3 cars on the lead lap. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Just take right sides and go.
I think that Colin Hefner might win this race, Jeff. He came down and took tires. There's only 3 cars in the lead lap. Fourth place is
And-
2 laps down. No one's going to get back on the lead lap. It's just going to be those 3. If Hefner stays on the lead lap after taking these tires, I think he's going to win. I think if he has fresh tires and those 2 don't, I don't see how he doesn't win. It's been a long run.
Absolutely. It's been 70 or so laps.
Let's see. Hefner leaves now. I don't think he beat the pace car out, Jeff. I think he went a lap down in the process.
Well, then that's the best thing that Luke and Austin Edwards could hear right now.
Here's the thing, though. He will get his lap back, but he's going to have to start at the tail of the field. So he's going to need another, immediate caution if he's going to be a factor. If there's a quick caution on the restart, that'll play in Hefner's favor.
Man. Yeah, he might just spin somebody just to get up there.
Jeff,
I mean, I'm not.
I'm really turned on this strategy here because I understand why he did it. It might work out and it might give him the win, but
He probably didn't think he'd go the lap down.
Yeah, that's true. I probably would have just started third, though, behind those guys and seen if maybe I could shove Edwards up into Turpin and make it interesting. It's only 10 laps. You only have to make it interesting for 10 laps.
Absolutely. Third is a catbird seat.
No doubt, if you can really mess with those guys. Hefner will get his lap back, so he'll be the last car on the lead lap. 3 cars on the lead lap.
Especially if they're going to start double file. If the 3 would have been nose to tail, here comes Hefner. He's getting his lap back. Probably going to sideswipe to Edwards on the way by.
Gives me a wave. So 10 laps to go here in the BUTTKICKER 350. What's been an epic race, Jeff? Only 3 cautions up to this point. Who do you got? 66 or 454 here? It looks like it's going to be mano-y-mano, Jeff. Both those cars look very, very equal on that last run. Who you picking?
Clean, it would be Edwards. However, Luke knows what he has to do, and if I'm Luke, I wait to the last lap to do it. That way, the black flag doesn't come into play on him if he does it on the last lap, right?
If he wrecks him, he would be disqualified.
No, I mean going under. If he goes under the yellow line, and gets the iRacing black, he has a lap to give it up. So if it's only
if you cross the checkered flag with that, they disqualify you.
Oh, 10-4 then. Never mind.
Yeah, he wouldn't have that in his pocket. But nonetheless, this is going to be interesting here. These 2 are going to duel it out. This is going to be a good finish, I promise you. I just hope, it looks like McConaughey is going to be starting right behind these guys.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I just hope that McConaughey lets them race it out. I hope he understands the situation.
Yes, it would be a shame. I mean, all those guys should back up about 3 seconds and just let those guys go.
They should. They honestly should. I mean, there's no reason not to at this point. You don't want to be honest, the way the restart's going to go, I think Turpin will probably get in the line. I think he should be okay with Carp down there on the inside, but I just hope no one tries to make it too crazy here. So we're going to have a restart with under 10 laps to go. 3 cars on the lead lap. Unless we get another caution, only 2 are in contention. Hefner is mired way too far back.
No more wave rounds either.
Yeah, no more wave rounds at this point. Remember, if we get to 5 to go, there will be no more cautions. And, yeah, that's pretty much the full rundown here. So, Edwards is your leader. Turpin is on his outside. And this time by green flag in the air. We're down and away. Edwards gets going. Turpin's trapped on the high side. Edwards is trying to trap him up there. McConaughey's going to dive for the hole. McConaughey will dive for the hole. And he's going to get around Turpin. Turpin's just going to let him go. And Turpin's still actually going to race on the outside now. Curious to see what Turpin does here. They're side by side with 9 to go. Turpin's going to let him go now. Let's see if Turpin moves the 85 car. That would probably be my guess. 85's looking all over Edwards' bumper now. 85 gives Edward a bump there. And McConaughey, 4 laps down. He doesn't care. He wants to be 3 laps down. As now Turpin is going to shove him. He absolutely shoves him. Turpin might use him as a weapon here.
I told you.
McConaughey shoves the 66. McConaughey shoves the 66 all the way up the racetrack. Turpin now gets underneath McConaughey, and Aiden McConaughey is losing my respect by the second there. That is just stupid with 6 laps to go to race the leaders like that. You're gaining absolutely nothing. I don't like calling out guys like that either. Ignorant right there. Edwards takes the lead back. Turpin's going to be in second. Here we go. This time by, to make it to the flag, there will be 5 laps to go to decide it. Let's see who gets back. 5 to go. A handful. Caution is out. Caution flies before 5 to go, Jeff. Hefner's going to be up there. It's going to be green-white checkered.
No. There's no more waves inside of 10.
Hefner's on the lead lap. He got the wave last time.
Oh, you're right.
Yep. Beals will not be back on the lead lap, but Hefner will be. Top three are going to be under a blanket. 2 laps to go.
Let me ask you a
Oh, man.
question. Is Hefner and Hayden McConaughey teammates?
Yeah, they are. They are,
I
Jeff.
wonder why McConaughey was driving the leader so hard.
I didn't even really think about that. Dang. That was, I mean, just the way he was bumping them, man. That was just, you don't do that, with 5 to go.
Negative. I mean, that's the worst kind of sportsmanship I've seen in I don't know how long.
That was like when we went in the preseason to Rockingham and Cryer and Turpin were racing for the win, and then Jalbert, just 4 laps down, decided to just race Cryer really hard and cost him a chance at the win. Like, that was pretty much the same thing as that right there. Fortunately, though, McConaughey didn't cost anyone a shot at the win. I don't know what brought out the caution. I have not seen anything yet. We'll give you an update if we do find out, but it doesn't look like it involved anyone that was running near the front. Here's how they're running right now, by the way. Austin Edwards first, Luke Turpin second, third Colin Hefner, only cars in the lead lap, fourth Charlie Beals 1 lap down, fifth 2 laps down, Pat Sullivan. Looks like our second place points guy, Jordan Babinger, was involved in the caution. 6th going to be Tyler Jalbert, 7th going to be Tyler Batchelder, 8th will be Heather Patrick, 9th will be Octavio Rondoletto, and 10th will be JB Smooth John Schwartz. As we're going to have a green-white checkered. Who do you like in a green-white checkered here, Jeff? You got 3 guys to pick from.
Well, I tell you what, if they're going to start side by side, I'm taking the guy in 3rd place. That's going to be Hefner.
They should. They should be starting side by side. And I want to pick Hefner too, just because the fresh tires, it's going to be... I don't think the fresh tires mean anything here, though, Jeff. I think this is just going to be bare-knuckle, 3 guys trying to survive 2 laps.
Oh, no, because what you do with those fresh tires is you get inside the 66, give them a little nudge, and 454 is going to be outside of them. They're going to get together. Hefner's going to dive bomb inside of them, make it 3 wide going into the last corner, and boom, he comes out the winner.
Well, we'll have to see.
Not that I thought about that very much.
The BUTTKICKER 350 going to go to overtime here. A race that's only seen 4 cautions. Kind of ironic that we're going to overtime, but it will. As it's going to be a 3-man race for the win. After long green flag run, 3 guys will be on the lead lap to duel it out here at the end. It's Austin Edwards in the 66, Luke Turpin in the 454, Colin Hefner in the 87. Hefner, the only one of these guys that hasn't won a race yet this season. Turpin, a 2-time winner, and the 66 of Edwards, a 1-time winner. Here we go through 3 and 4 for the last time. The iRacing Ford Mustang pulls off. The field gets bunched up, and the green flag's in the air. We're down and away. Turpin on the high side gets a good jump. Hefner is right there, though. They race side by side for the top spot. Turpin up top, Edwards down low. Hefner just looking for a place to go. They touch doors. They drive down into 3 and 4. Turpin and Edwards touch. Turpin gets moved out of the way. Here comes Hefner inside. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. We go down into turns 1 and 2. Turpin still on the high side, fighting to stay relevant. Hefner with a good run off the corner. How deep does he drive it in? Hefner pile drives it into the corner. He gets it in there deep. He gives a shove to Edwards. It's not enough. Austin Edwards will win from Irwindale Inner. Second's going to be Colin Hefner, and 3rd is Luke Turpin. Lots of respect there on the last lap. Hefner could have definitely done more there, but he didn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. He definitely showed a lot more respect than his teammate did.
No doubt whatsoever. And Austin Edwards becomes just the 2nd multi-race winner this season. He picks up win number 2 in what was just an absolutely epic battle, as we had an excellent BUTTKICKER 350. We are going to now talk with some of our top finishers, starting off with our 3rd place finisher tonight, Luke Turpin. I'm going to get a quick word in with him, and me and Jeff will, as we're down here with Luke Turpin, who finished 3rd tonight. A good podium finish for the 454 car. Luke, a race that saw only 4 cautions somehow has a green-white checkered finish. We saw a great racing between you and Austin for pretty much that whole last green flag run. Do you think if this thing went green, you could have won it if we didn't have that late green-white checkered?
I think it was going to be a good race. I think, we were definitely going to battle it out to the end there, but I got around him, but I did not want to win like that. I moved him up the track, and I just didn't want to win like that, so I let him back by. And then we had a good race going, but people like 6 laps down and 4 laps down are racing the leaders like they're part of the finish here. I don't get it.
Well, Luke, now talking about that green-white checkered finish, you were starting on the outside. What was the strategy there? Did you think you had a shot at this thing restarting 2nd on the outside?
To be honest, I felt like my best opportunity here was going to be that pink car. I can't remember. Colin and Austin got into it, and I was gonna try to like do an over under on them, but they raced pretty clean. I was actually expecting worse out of them. And outside just wasn't gonna work, man. It just wasn't my day. This is actually probably my worst track out there, so I'll take a third. This in the outer, I hate these tracks.
Well, we talked about it, Luke, a little bit earlier in the broadcast. You had a rough start to the year. However, over your last 4 races now, you've won 2 and finished third another time. You're quickly making up grounds on points leaders Jordan Babinger and John Schwartz. So how does it feel for your team to just kind of get these consistent run latelys and kind of find more of what we saw out of you in the preseason?
I'm feeling good, man. When we get to the second half of this season, I want to be on fire. I feel like the tracks that I finished the worst at are my best tracks. I just need to put a full race together there. I've got the tracks I'm not very good at down now, and I'm ready to, open the floodgates, as they say.
Mr. Superman, I got a question from the booth up here, buddy.
What you got there, Jeff? I appreciate the help too.
Hey, that's what was part of my question there. Was your right front burning off a lot earlier than the guys in front of you, you figure?
I had that chassis tuna special in the car with the Superman gear in it, and it was driving great towards the end there. It was not set up for 120-degree track temp at the beginning, so I was just hanging on, but we were coming to life at the end. I promise you that, and I got to thank you for that, so I appreciate all your help.
I figured you weren't liking the heat in the track, and hopefully we can do a little something better for you next time.
I appreciate the help, Chassis Tuna.
Good race, brother.
All right, well, that was third-place finisher Luke Turpin, and now, Jeff, I think you're caught up a little bit further on pit road with our second-place finisher, Colin Hefner.
Mr. Hefner, how you doing, buddy? That was a pretty good race you put out there. How you feeling?
that was a darn good one. Doing quite well.
Look, I got a question. When you went into the pits there at the very end, were you thinking you were going to beat the pace car out, or did you have a good inkling that you were going to be a lap down and have to get real lucky?
I honestly didn't even think of it, but I had a feeling that for some reason I thought I was gonna get the wave either way, so I went in for the right sides. I knew I had nothing for Austin and Luke when it comes to a long run or anything like that. I want to say after 40 laps, my right sides are down to like 60-70%. So I definitely needed some fresh rubber there, one way or the other, just to have a fighting chance to stick with them, and definitely paid off.
Absolutely. I actually thought all 3 of you guys would have went into the pits and got tires there, but I've been proven wrong a lot of times. No,
they didn't pit.
All right, that's news to me.
Okay, Petey, got any more questions?
Yeah, Colin, who do you want to thank for your sponsors and teammates as you find out that revelation?
Well, I want to curse my teammates now. They told me they pit.
No, they didn't.
No, I want to thank Barney. Him and I have been working on this setup all week. Alex Hallinar, he's been doing really well with us, and setting all of us up to be able to race every week. I've just been having a really good time doing these. I love the competition. It's always top notch every time we get in here. Want to send an apology to Luke. I didn't mean to really kill him in the beginning there, but seems like he recovered just fine, so I think it's okay.
All right, well, thank you, Colin, and that was your second-place finisher tonight for the Hallinar Racing team, Colin Hefner. And now I'm down here in Victory Lane for the second time this season, just the second multi-race winner this year. Austin Edwards is victorious, but Austin, this wasn't like the first time you won at Southern National, where you're kind of just in a league of your own. This race, we saw a lot of guys really running fast tonight, especially you and Luke Turpin. Tell us what it was like in those last 40, 50 laps where you and Turpin were racing nose to tail for that thing, running about the same speed.
Let me tell you, I've never held on a steering wheel so hard in my life. That was definitely a actually pretty smooth race for the first, I'd say, 300 laps. And everybody kind of got bunched back up together. And I think Turpin had the faster car at the end of the day, but I was luckily able to just barely hold on for dear life, roast the tires off of my car, and bring it home at the end of the race. But I agree, my check rubber files too, having Hofner up there with the new tires and Turpin with the faster car, and it was just a disaster. I'm still sitting here shaking after this one, but it's pretty cool to bring a second win to K2 Racing and put Paul's money to good use.
Yeah, now, I know you run the limited schedule. I want to ask you right now, though, do you plan to run Oxford next week?
I am planning on it, yeah.
All right, so we'll get to see a little bit more Oxford. Second win of the year now. I actually just joined Luke Turpin as only the second multi-time winner this season in XCal. So looking at the 66 car, it's actually getting pretty close up there to the top 15 in points. For you guys, I know like it's kind of a collection. Like you run some races, Paul runs some other races, and occasionally another guy will run a race in here or there. But still, does it feel nice to be part of a collective effort trying to get this car maybe up to a top 10 finish in points before the year's over?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I know Paul's really good on the bigger tracks, so when he gets into the car, we're all set for that. But we've obviously had a strong performance on the short tracks this season, so if we can keep that up, keep up the first, second, third place finishes, I think we'll easily be in the top 10 by the end of the year, and hopefully even go maybe farther than that. Never know.
All right, Austin. Well, second career win for you. Before I let you go, celebrate with the K2 team. Pop the bottles of K2 sauce. Who do you got to thank for sponsors and team?
K2 Racing is the guy that makes it happen. Paul Coleman got me into this car 5 minutes before the Thompson race started. Was able to bring it home second, and him and the guys at K2 are the ones that make it happen. So big thanks to them and all the guys at XCal for putting the show on. It's always a lot of fun racing with these guys.
All right, and that's the winner of the Butt Kicker 350, Austin Edwards. And Jeff, what a Butt Kicker 350 it was. I mean, 300, well, it ended up being 353 with the overtime. But we ran that many laps to only have 4 cautions. The amount of great on-track racing we had. After a great race at Texas, too, really, these XCal drivers are just kind of on a roll lately with these really good races.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. I got to tell you, I'm really glad I got to watch it from up here with you. I mean, because there was some impressive driving going on. A very entertaining race.
No doubt whatsoever. So it is Austin Edwards for the second time this season picking up the victory as he is victorious in the Butt Kicker 350. Thank you to Butt Kicker. Be sure to check out the Butt Kicker website. Use code XCAL20 for 20% off on your next Butt Kicker. I highly recommend getting. That'll wrap up things, though, here in the broadcast booth. On behalf of myself, PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCal Racing. On behalf of Jeff Edgar, thank you for joining me tonight, Jeff. On behalf of Alex Gangler and all the folks over at the Gangcast, Aaron Hillbush, the president of XCal Racing, who makes these fantastic races possible, Bowen Smith, the admin who's calling the calls on the racetrack. That'll wrap it up from Irwin Dalliner. Next week, same time, it's going to be on How to Suck at iRacing. Hopefully, probably not the Gangcast, although we are very thankful to the Gangcast for coming on board this week last minute.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex.
Of course, Alex. A big shout out to Alex Gangler, too. I kind of gave him the normal shout out there. He deserves all the credit in the world for showing up to this last minute. Thank you to Alex, and we'll be back next week at the Oxford Plains on How to Suck at